Welcome back to the week 8 of the Ravens Roundtable. I'm the host of this joint here, Coach Evans, and a lot of stuff went on, but we got a protocol now. We got a protocol that we're gonna follow. If you got a question you want us to answer, the pin comment will take you to my Twitter page, and I made a post about if you got questions for us to put them down there, and it's easier for me to go to Twitter once I get to that part and pull up your question rather than because they go too fast in the chat box. That's the only way I know how to do it. Unless you got a monetary number attached to it, I really ain't gonna see it. So that's kind of a fair way to try to get the questions in. There's already some questions out there, and we'll get to what everybody want to talk about, but we got to go through our regular stuff first. All right. So bring in everybody. First off, we got the newly published. I think you're on episode 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Open mic, OTR
yes, sir.
mic.
What up, everybody? Look, man, real quick, I appreciate all of the support. A lot of the support came out of this round table, and thanks to you, Coach. You know what I mean, and pushing it for me. So yeah, salute to y'all that's checking it out. If you haven't already, open mic with OTR mic, search it up, give me a subscription, or however you say it, subscribe, and then peep the first 4 episodes I got.
Definitely, and at some point we'll stash the link in the and no matter of fact in the about the stream, whatever, you should be linked down there. If you click his name, it should come up because I got everybody's info in there, and if you just click it, it should come up because we have Twitter handles. I mean, we have YouTube handles now, so you should, if you click it, it should come up. I think that's how that works.
Big time.
Next, we're bringing in Hendo. What up, Hendo?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Good. Hey, I think Hendo's gonna be on one today. I think
I'm not. Listen,
I think
right.
Just hold on to it.
You gotta wait to see.
This is the one that I know is gonna be on one. He not already fair warning. He not already fair warning that he about to be on one tonight. What up, B?
What's going on, fellas? Thanks again for having me.
No problem. And Jose not gonna make it with us tonight. He got a prior engagement, which it's way more important than this. And we want to say what's up to Jose. Handle your business, brother. Handle your business.
Indeed.
I'll be in your shoes in 2 weeks. And last but not least, he is on time, so we don't want to hear no drama from the stream. He was here on time. I just always have Chris last. I don't know why, but appreciate you for joining us, Chris. What's up?
What's good, fellas? Hopefully everybody having a good night. Everybody having a good Halloween, and let's get to it. I know people waiting for this.
Yeah, I don't even turn my lights on, so don't come to my house knocking for no candy. front of the house black. Don't come here looking. So we're gonna start off. What we're gonna do is, and fellas, is since the game was Thursday and everybody talked about it and all that stuff, we're just gonna skim through, our normal thing, and then we'll get to these questions and talking about the fish grease situation for the day. So we'll start with QB play, and I'll start with you, Mike. Let's talk about QB play.
Man, look, eight was great. You know what I mean? I know we got some listeners who feel like we be caping for them, but the fact of the matter is without them, man, we ain't got nothing, right? We will be nowhere. So I think 8 in the second half was excellent. I think the first half, the game plan was shaky. I was getting a little shook again with the game plan throwing it so many times. I think they threw it 30 times in the first half.
Yeah, 30.
So I'm like, here we go. I didn't know if they was trying to make a point. I didn't know what was happening, but I wasn't feeling it at first. But the second half, man, he really took control of the game, and he showed who he is. That Lamborghini that I call him all the time. He showed that in the second half.
Hendo?
Yeah, like you said, taking them from him. Lamar did an outstanding job, and I think that the philosophy in the first half was Tampa Bay had 3/4 of the secondary out. They had a lot of injuries, so I think they were trying to test them that way. But when they realized it wasn't working, credit to Greg Roman. He switched it up. Lamar 8 for 8, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns second half. Lamar did his thing.
Yeah. B?
Yeah, and I agree. Lamar played really well. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about that game, right? Like they threw it too much in the first half, but they came back in the second half, and like the guy said, they took control of the game.
Gotcha. Chris?
Yeah, man. Like everybody said, Lamar, it was a little stinky in the first half, but that second half came through, and he looked like the Lamar that we saw earlier this season. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come for him.
True that. And for my take on it, it's like a tale of two halves. First half, he was shaky-ish. Some good throws, some bad throws. It was just up and down. In that second quarter, he was unreal, man. Unreal. No incompletions, 2 touchdowns, and they introduced the RPO back into it and the quick passing game. So them two together will open up some deep stuff eventually. So they just got to be patient with it. All right, that's the QB part of it. Let's jump on down to running backs. Running back play. Start with you, Chris.
I mean, it was looking good. Then, of course, Gus got hurt, unfortunately. But Kenyon Drake came in, did his thing. Justice Hill came in, did his thing, held on to the ball too. So that's what we need. We need those guys. It's not going to be a workhorse group. There's not going to be 20 carry guys in this backfield. So what we need is efficiency, and they've been pretty efficient. So hats off to them. I thought they played well.
B?
Yeah, I thought the running backs played really well. All of the running backs played well. Like Chris said, it was sad to see Gus get hurt, but the other guys came in and they did a great job as well. Even Duvernay, he got his jet sweep for the touchdown there. He had 33 yards rushing. I mean, so everybody who actually got to run the ball ran well.
Hendo?
Yes. Running backs outstanding. 230 yards rushing, 7 yards of carry. Debo Duvernay did his thing. Hey, what else can you say?
That's how it starts, Hendo. That's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
Mike?
Yeah, man. To everybody else sentiment, man. They look good, man. The running game really found itself in the second half. Again, that game plan, I didn't know what was going on in that first half. I'm like, look, why we ain't running the ball? But second half, man, they really showed out.
They Harbaugh said that the game plan was to throw, tire him out, and run him in the fourth quarter. I really want to call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
That wasn't no fucking game. That wasn't the plan.
Yeah, the game plan was, man, they're beat up, they're playing poorly. Let's go out here and throw on them and prove we can. Oh wait, we can't.
Right. That's exactly what it was, B. That's exactly what it was. Exactly. Let's move on to wide receivers and tight ends. Mike, on you.
Wide receivers was solid, man. I mean, we were down to I hate to say it, we was down to the scratch. You know what I'm saying? And with the guys that I think DeMarcus, I think he had 6 catches. I think we had a likely sighting. He showed what he looked like in the preseason. It was you guys are part of the Discord. I remember saying like, we about to get embarrassed. Like, this is about to get embarrassing. And so because once Mark went out, once Bateman went out, I was just like, yeah, man, this ain't gonna be pretty. But yeah, man, the ones that Duvernay, like I said, I've been saying, he's the MVP of this team. I'll say this, he's the third. I'll give him third in line for MVP on this team. You got to go with 1A and 1B, Lamar and Justin Tucker, and then Duvernay. I think Duvernay, he made a big catch, man. He made some big plays out there. So, overall, I think for what we had, that group, I think they showed up.
Hendo?
Yeah, I think they were solid. One thing I noticed is last year when Lamar went down and being that Andrews and Brashard Bateman went out, Greg Roman kind of adjusts his schemes, and he doesn't rely on Lamar to do everything by himself. He actually calls good game plans when he has to at times. Listen, Prochet did his thing, and I know people have a lot of hate for Prochet and a lot of love for him, but if you actually watch him, Prochet gets open a lot. I just don't think that Lamar trusts him. But overall, I think the wide receivers did solid. Likely, he had the breakout game. Hey, he ran hard. Listen, the kid might be something against bad teams.
B?
Yeah. The wide receivers were fine. I mean, they Likely had a very nice game, and with Mark Andrews being out, I'm trying very hard not to take the Prochet bait there, and but it was nice to see Demarcus Robinson make an appearance. I'm just gonna say it. Prochet gets open because the defenses don't trust Prochet, right? Like they don't care if he catches the ball or not. He caught it 3 times for 24 yards.
I thought it was 4.
4 targets, 3 catches.
I thought it was 5 targets.
No, I don't think so.
She was trying to push the number up.
But overall, I mean, it was a fine showing from that group.
It was a fine showing.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start with the wide receivers. I thought Demarcus Robinson had a good game. He showed a lot. As far as getting some yak yards after the catch. So, props to him. He had some big catches on 3rd down. Then Duvernay, whenever he's targeted or whenever they give him the ball, good things happen. And he keeps. I mean, all you can do is be efficient with the touches that you get, and that's what he's done this whole season. So, props to him. And then Prochet did his little thing. I mean, hey, look, if you target it and you catch the ball, move the chains a little bit, hey, that's all you could do. So he didn't drop any passes. He did have a phantom penalty. I did not agree with that penalty whatsoever. Yeah, I think a lot of people bagged on him, but I don't think he deserved that. And then Likely, he came through. I had to check the schedule, make sure this wasn't a preseason game because he was doing his thing, man. So, major props to the rookie. It hasn't gone off, with the bang like a lot of folks had anticipated. But, when his number was called and they needed him the most, he came through in a big way on Thursday. So props to the rookie.
My 2 cents on it. I was happy to see Prochet get some spin, played a lot more than he normally do. Even before Bateman went down, he had I probably had his season high in snaps before Bateman even went down. To see the other guys be involved, I like that. To me, that lets me know that they're capable of being a part of offense. They don't have to be the centerpiece. They're capable of being good complementary pieces to the stars. What Likely did, like Chris said, it kind of leans you back to preseason, but depending on the touches he get, I mean, this could be normal depending on the touches he get, because the difference, Mark's gonna go up and catch almost every contested thing and in tight spots and whatnot. But I think Likely gives you more. And I'm not saying Mark, I mean, Likely is better than Mark, so don't nobody put that words in my mouth. Likely can give you more after the catch. Because I'm still amazed at how he can start and stop to be that size. He can start and stop like a receiver. I mean, I know he used to be a receiver, but he can start and stop like a receiver, and then still form a run over people too. So when he get in the weight room and get a little stronger, I think the dude's gonna be pretty darn good. All right.
I want to say I want to put out an APB for Andy Isabella. If anybody has seen him, please please mark himself safe, or let it be known that he's okay. I just want to see. I just want to make sure he's all right.
You know what? That's funny because we see D-Jack on the sideline, but we don't see Isabella.
You see D-Jack in practice. You don't see Isabella. I haven't seen one picture, one clip of him running a route. I haven't seen anything in Andy Isabella since he's been here. So I just want to know.
They're about to cut him.
Yeah, maybe. But we did. I mentioned if you have the question for us, to send it to my, hit the pin tweet and go to my Twitter account, unless you put a monetary thing on it. And DDSQ put a monetary thing on that. So we go into his question. So y'all won't think I'm ignoring y'all. He says, what's up, coach? Can you discuss how Mark Andrews adjusting his routes about affect spacing on the offense? My 2 cents on it, really, a lot of the stuff when I be complaining about why it's 2 or 3 people in the same area, part of it is Mark, because he sees open spots and just runs to them, and he has the freedom to do that. So, and I be bagging on Roman talking about the receivers in the right spot, I mean the wrong spot, but I kind of know what Mark be doing. Mark just see an open spot and he go to it. Anybody else want to answer that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's that he got that freedom to do it. I mean, I think it does affect the spacing, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to take that from him. I do trust that he is going to get to the open spot. It worked thus far, so it's one of those, maybe I don't know. I don't know what they could do about that, but I'm afraid to adjust it too much because, I mean, he is one of the go-to guys.
You can communicate. He can communicate with the receiver. Like, look, bro, if I see that spot, like Ed Reed would do with the corners, like he'll tell him, I'm about to jump this route. I'm about to do this. Communicate with the receivers. Like, look, you know, if it's an open spot, I'm running to it. Find somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
And stars have the license to do things like that because they make plays, right? I mean, I don't know if you heard them talking about it in the Buffalo game, I believe it was. They said that all their receivers have the green light to just take their route deep if they think they can get open. And that's no matter what route is called. Because they were showing, I believe it was Stephon Diggs, who just turned it upfield, got open, caught the ball for a touchdown. They have the green light to do that whenever they want. And that's what you do for star players because they make the plays that change the game.
True. Let's see. O-line play. Chris?
I thought they played fairly well. It wasn't a stellar game by any stretch of the imagination, especially in that first half. That first half, the Bucs, they were getting pressure on Lamar. But I thought they did well. Just like in the second half, just like with everybody else's game. Like we saw them struggle a bit in the first half, and then in the second half they kind of took over, and we saw that kind of throwback to the 2019 Ravens, where they were able to kind of, just grind the clock down and lean on these dudes and really impose their will and be able to run the game down like they used to do. So that was great to see them impose their will and kind of get back to that grinding style of offensive line play that we were used to seeing in the, during the 2019 season.
Yeah, what we rushed for 233,
231, something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely
231. Yeah,
a 2019 number. B.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did okay. They're no Carolina Panthers or anything, but they had themselves a decent game. Lamar got sacked 3 times. They got 7 tackles for loss. So I mean, it wasn't all good, but obviously, like Chris said, they cleaned a lot of stuff up in the second half, and they really dominated in the run game. I mean, they're gonna have to be able to put everything together for 4 quarters at some point, though.
Yep, at some point. Hopefully, starting soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it, but I give them a solid. They did a solid job.
You don't see you talking to somebody else, right?
No, I'm telling y'all, they're not gonna put together. They're not gonna put together 4 quarters. Not right now. I mean, they don't have the coaching staff to pull the discipline out of them. But I do want to give a special shout out to Tyler Linderbaum. Like Vita Vea was giving that man problems in the first half, but he turned it around. And a lot of people didn't want him because they're like, he's too small, he's not strong enough. He can adjust. Like he has a wrestling background. He has he's not just your average center. We took him for a reason, and I just want to give him a shout out because he figured it out. He got beat a couple times, but he showed, listen, I'm learning. It's a process. Unlike other first round picks, it's a process. I'm getting better.
True. And I'm one of the ones that was thinking he'd be okay, but the Vita Veas of the league, and there's probably 6 or 7 more other guys I thought would whoop him. And in the first half, what I thought came true. But like you said, I shout out to him because he adjusted, figured out the ins and outs of it, and that wrestling background with leverage and all that stuff came in, and he adjusted. Mike?
Yeah, Hendo, the play just was right behind your head. That when he did the Devin White, that was impressive for the young fella, man. Like
he did it multiple times too, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
Yeah, like I was going. If one of y'all missed it, I was going to give him the same shout out because, man, he had the dog in him. That dog, I know there's a clip of him in the locker room singing a country song, so I guess that's what got him going. But man, like that play, I'm like, okay, this young dude, he in the right spot. This is what we need out of him. So yeah, I think it's behind you right now. What he doing? What he did to him? Yeah. But I think they were solid, man. 3, like B said, they gave up 3 sacks. Vita Vea is he reminds me of Nada, man. He like when I see him, I see Nada because it's just that big and that athletic. You really don't see that with human beings that size. But so he's gonna give anybody a problem. But yeah, man, I think they were overall solid.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. It's nothing I want to add to it other than the fact that they were a lot better as the game went on. Because early in the game we were getting stuff, but as it went on, they like the whole line adjusted really, and that's what helped us, do the things we did in the second half. All right, let's flip to this other side, to the dark side. D line play, and again, Calais didn't play, so you got to see a lot of Travis, a lot of um, Urban, a lot of Washington, a lot of Matabike. Um, Mike, start us off.
Solid, man. For all things considered, without Calais being there, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, look, I'm not sure exactly what Fournette and them did.
They didn't even
Nothing.
try to. They didn't try to
Yeah,
run it.
they didn't do much.
They have
So
44 yards rushing.
yeah. So I mean, all things considered, man, they had three. They got 3 sacks. Matabike got one of those. So I think they were okay, man. I was concerned again, um, that without Calais there, that was going to show its ugly head. But the
Mhm.
young boy played solid to me, man. I'm starting to like what we seeing out of Travis Jones. Matabike, man, is you know he shows flashes. Like he's that new. Now that Patrick Queen seems to have gotten it together, Matabike is the new guy that has the potential, right? And he shows those flashes, but like it's just not as consistent as we would like to see it. But he could play, man. Like he could play. I do like, how he does play, but we just need a little more consistency there. But I think the D line overall, man, they were solid.
I just gotta address him, though, man.
How was that? What I do?
Mhm.
What I do?
He act like he ain't paying attention. And every time you say something that's in his mind sus, you get a different animation or a sound or something like you got a soundboard over there. Or you get one of them looks.
No.
But you up talking about D line.
No. Mike is absolutely correct. The D line was solid. Matabike, I think he's going to be a beast. Once again, I've said it so long. He needs more playing time. He needs more time on the field. And shout out to Broderick Washington. He batted down 3 passes. He's playing hard. He surprised me. He's given a little bit more than I thought he would to this team. But as we know, Tampa Bay's defensive line just since the preseason hasn't been up to par.
Right.
But they did a good job. I mean, like, hey, more props to them.
And honestly, they have all their guys back except for um shoot, the one we got. I can't think of his name right now. Slipped my mind.
Jensen.
No, when he said defensive line.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean
you got the
you said
offensive
open
line,
line.
yeah.
My bad. I was thinking about JPP. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
JPP was solid too. Even if you want to count him.
No, that
defensively.
was I'm saying, when you said their defensive line. I for
No,
some reason I
their
heard
offensive,
offensive
their
line.
offensive line.
Yeah,
Tampa
that's my
Bay's
fault.
offensive line.
Yeah, that's my fault. B.
Yeah, I mean they're all right. I mean, look, they play fine, right? But my thing with the defense and the offense really is who are you playing against? I mean, you're playing against a team who was beat up and a team who's not very good even when they're healthy. So you would kind of, with them playing that way, you would kind of expect this to be more than a 5-point game. But just judging on how the game went, the D line did pretty well. They bottled up the run game, and they got Tampa Bay to abandon that, pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And they got after Tom a bit. They knocked down a bunch of passes. So yeah, I mean they played pretty well, considering, I guess.
Chris.
Sort of.
Yeah, I thought they played well. Like everybody said, man, Justin Matabike, he's coming on strong. He's really one of the bright spots of this defense, and one of those young guys that you could really see him developing into one of the core members of this defense for a long time. So major props to him. Broderick Washington too. He was out there like Mutombo, just batting the football down. So props to him. Even Brent Urban, he gave him some quality snaps on Thursday night too, and yeah, I thought they played pretty well for the young group, not having that wily old veteran in Calais Campbell.
For me, I agree with everybody. They did solid. They were solid. The batted balls I liked because Tom gets rid of the ball so quick when he's on that you really, I think batting the ball down should be a part of your game plan with him instead of necessarily getting to him because he diagnoses stuff real quick and gets the ball out. But they did a good job of frustrating him along with the rest of the defense. Let's move on to linebackers. And we'll start with we'll break this down into two different groups. We'll start with outside linebackers, the edge guys. Chris.
Hey man, Justin Houston. I mean, damn. He's playing like one of the best pass rushers in the league right now. And the numbers show it too. This man, he missed what, 2-3 games,
and like 2.5 games,
and he's up there in sack totals. And these aren't like fluky sacks where it's just nobody's blocking him and he's able to get to the quarterback. Like he's beating offensive tackles, and these are high quality sacks that he's getting. So major props to him. He's looking like he's 25 years old again. So props to him. JPP, he didn't really get into the box score or anything like that, but I thought he played fairly well. Being able to set the edge on this team and just being able to contain those, Fournette and the other dude White. Like I said, they only rushed for 44 yards. So we know that whenever the Ravens come into town, unfortunately, it's usually a get right game for rushing attacks. And they were able to keep hold them down to 44 yards. So props to them.
B.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Houston, I think he must have really taken it to heart when his kid was not impressed by those 100 sacks that he got. Told him you better go out there and get to 120. So Justin's been great. And Owe, he got himself a QB hit. Keeping the momentum going. He's building every week. So when Bowser and Ojabo come back and he gets buried on the bench, we'll see. But for right now, the edges are. I thought they did all right.
What's the progression for what Owe done? So does it go from pressure to hit to sack, or does it go from winning on the edge, then to pressure, then to hit, then to sack?
Well, I think what he's actually done has gone from sack to force fumble to the hit, and so now I think we're going to get some consistent pressure next week on Andy Dalton, right?
So he going this way.
Look, he's going away, right? Like he wasn't doing anything before. Y'all were complaining when he wasn't doing anything at all. Now he's putting something in the box score. You got to be happy about it, right?
He could be a Panther, so
wow.
Let's go. Let's go. Make him a Panther. Listen, Justin Houston, there's not enough superlatives to quantify what this man is doing for the team. Like he's too old to have to carry this team in sacks. That's what our first round pick is supposed to be for. Listen, you can get him with the QB hits, you can get him with the pressures, you can get him with the almost hand grenades and horseshoes. At least I will say Jason Pierre-Paul plays hard. His body may not be there. He's another Uncle Bynes. Like his mind is there. His body just ain't there right now. And he plays hard. Justin Houston plays hard. It's just that we need that third guy to do something a little bit different. And I think the coaching staff needs to help him out and not play him as much. He's playing too many snaps. I've said this before. He's playing too much. By the end of the game, he's tired. I know we have some help on the way with Bowser. And y'all can say Ojabo's a beast. This man hasn't even had a preseason game in the NFL. Stop right now.
Put on a jersey yet?
Right now, this man hasn't done anything in the NFL, and y'all like wait till he comes back. Comes back, he's never been in.
Right.
Get it together.
I agree with you on that, Mike.
Debo Duvernay telling people to get it together. Incredible.
I'm just kidding.
I look, Houston, he balling. I think Owe is getting there, right? And I think and JPP he's been solid, right? Like you said, Hendo, I agree with you. The man ain't had no preseason. He came in late. He he had 2 days of practice and he started playing, and he's been playing ever since, right? So, but I think what we're seeing is the product of a rotation that's starting to form on that outside, right? That it's allowing Houston to get some rest. It's going to allow Oweh to get some rest. It's going to allow JPP to get some rest. Now that Bowser's coming back too. So that rotation will free up, it'll keep some of those legs fresh, right? So I think we'll see even more pressure coming off that outside. I think it's going to really open up for Houston. And if not, if they're going to start paying more attention to Houston, then I think you'll start seeing Oweh possibly get there, JPP, Bowser. You'll see that now they got to start paying attention to these outside guys, man. And it's going to open up for somebody. We don't know who it is, but they're going to have to keep an eye open for them outside guys now, which I think is a good thing. And I think that rotation that they're starting to create is it's causing this right now.
Not to bag on Oweh, but I need to see more. But with what happened today, you got to add Malik into that conversation too, because he's already been playing that edge a lot. I ain't gonna say he outsnapped Oweh at edge, but his numbers on the edge have been increasing, even though he plays some in the middle too. But it's. I can't say Jabu's gonna do anything. I'm with him though. I need to see it first. Potential gets people fired. I need to see it.
Not in Baltimore.
Are you sure? I was about to say, you sure? Because Queen potential, Oweh potential, Hamilton potential, almost still here.
I open that door.
You did.
That door. Yeah. Man, I opened that door. I knew better than that. I knew better than that.
At this point, what you get out of Ojabo is icing on the cake, right? Yeah. You really can't count him. I mean, I see who's in there. Somebody just said
everybody.
Free Wi-Fi said he'll have 10 plus sacks by season end. Like, listen, I love the enthusiasm, right?
Positivity.
You know what I mean?
Let's be real.
I'll be happy with 2 sacks out of him. You know what I mean? Just because of what he's coming off of. He hasn't had an NFL snap. So, we might want to temper that. But
he hasn't done anything since his pro day.
Let's let this man get healthy. Let's let him get healthy. Yeah. So this is a problem that we have in Baltimore. We heap all of this pressure on these young picks. Every time we get a young pick, he gonna be this, he gonna do that, he gonna do this, and they fold under the pressure because we don't have the coaching to get him right. And this man still needs to get healthy. People don't realize he got injured this calendar year.
Yep.
This calendar year,
March, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
March,
and we just expect him to come in here and go opposite. No way, Oweh, and just be this dynamic duo. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. Be this dynamic duo.
Yep,
let this man learn the game first. Let him come in and get up to speed with the practices. Let him find out how to block, how to shed blocks and do things. Don't just think he's going to come in here and just 10 sacks because Mike McDonald was his defensive coordinator last year. Come on.
Man. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, Rashad Bateman knew how to catch before he came to Baltimore, right? All of a sudden, he's the number one receiver and he's dropping passes every single game. Baltimore, for as much as they love heaping veterans on top of the depth chart, guys who can teach the young guys. Like they end up with a lot of young players in positions that those young players are not ready to be in.
Thanks.
I agree 100%. 100%. Inside linebackers. Hey, dude, he gets better to me. Better each week to me. Well, not better, but he ain't going down. I might say he's staying even. I'm talking about Queen. He's staying even. I ain't gonna say he's going down.
What are we talking about?
You
backed off of getting better every week real quick, man. I
had to temper. I've tempered my expectations. Remember, I used to be half full. I'm half empty now.
No, coach, you were three quarters full.
Well,
in an empty glass.
My cup look like this now.
Okay,
it's not that bad. I got to see it on the grass before I just pour my stock into it. And the last person I really been stand for that was on potential has been Queen, and that's probably one person I'm most stay on that stand for until I see otherwise. Anybody else want to go inside linebackers? If so, it's on you, Mike.
Look, y'all say what y'all want. Queen balling right now, and I'm gonna take it. What's this, 3 games?
You count last game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You count him balling?
Listen, when he don't make a mistake, that's a win.
That's
B,
balling?
B. Get him, B. I ain't even gonna say it. He got
Listen, he's not making
making mistakes is balling now.
Yeah,
That's what we're
I
talking
mean, listen, look, who's our inside linebackers? You got
Where's
Uncle Bonds,
the bar?
and the bar is so first of all, what we was getting on him about was he missed tackles, he overran plays, he dropped interceptions, he was getting beat in coverage. That didn't happen this game.
He was shit, and then but the next step isn't balling.
He's not shit now.
It ain't. Listen,
but the
he's
next step isn't
Shinola.
balling.
Okay, so 2.5 games he balled then. I mean, what's considered balling? Because he's playing well to me right now.
He's playing okay.
No,
He balled out in the last game.
He playing better than okay. Like he's not. He is playing well. Like let's take it right. I mean, now I understand where you coming from, Coach. Like I'm afraid to jump out there now right now and say he turned the corner because you know at any. Well, you know at any moment.
There's a saying when you coach young people, and Queens of young people, they say you pat them on the ass, they shit in your hand. So that's why I'm trying not to go that route.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a pat on the shoulder pads then.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, look, we used to seeing him put one great game together, and then the next game. You know, after that one good game, you're like, yeah, okay, this is the queen we need. And then the next game, he doesn't play well, right?
Like, that's the
so seeing a 2 to 3 game stretch of him is not what we're used to, right? So, you know, we're a little afraid to jump out there and say, okay, he's completely turned that corner. But he's looking. I mean, I like the way he's playing right now, man. And if he can play like this, at least his output has been consistent over the last 3 to 4 games, and that's what we've been asking for him is consistency. So I'll take the way he's playing, and then you add Roquan to the mix. That's responsibility.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, we talk about that in a minute. But once again, here we are speaking about somebody that needs to come in and do Queen's job to make it easier for him.
No. Queens don't play the same position.
It doesn't make a difference. Okay, lessening the responsibilities. Let me put it like that.
It's not even about that, Hendo, because we can't say right that Lamar needs. We can't say that on the offensive side of the ball he needs more weapons because it'll make it easier for this player, that player. It's the same thing.
That's
right?
not the same thing at all.
How is it not?
Because I'll tell you how it's not, Mike.
Oh, snap.
Because I'm sorry.
God damn. He getting aggressive.
Patrick, when the ball is snapped, ain't nobody stopping Patrick from doing his job except Patrick.
No.
On the other side, when they snap the ball and Lamar throws it, Lamar can't catch it.
No, but listen, here's my rebuttal to that. Right? If you got Rashard Bateman on one side and then you got DeAndre Hopkins on the other, you're gonna look on that other side more than you're gonna look on this side. So it's gonna open up more things for Rashard Bateman. So this having Roquan there is going to open up and free Queen from a lot of other things because you're gonna have to pick. Now you gotta look. First it was Uncle Bonds and then it's Queen. So it's like, all right, look, we ain't even worried about the old guy. We just got to focus on this young fella. We're going to mix him up. You got somebody there.
Old with every single breath.
But I'm just saying, it does take pressure off him. I don't think it takes his job. I don't think you got to take his responsibility, but it takes some things off of you playing next to somebody. Like to say that, now I'm not calling them before y'all trip. I'm not calling nobody Ray Lewis. But to say that the people around.
But you done said it already.
We took that out the equation, though. We said we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But to say that the people around Ray didn't help him be who he was would be, that's
Mike.
You are factually correct. But Ray Lewis was still Ray Lewis without those other plays.
What I was going to say is those names that play with Ray, I don't think we even know them if Ray's not there. Yeah. I think is that what you're saying, Mike?
But yeah. But I'm also saying
Queen's job should not change. He
It
should. He should. The offense shouldn't. He shouldn't be a focus of the
All right.
offense now, though. But his
Okay.
job shouldn't change.
Well,
Because he doesn't play in the mic. He don't play in the middle.
Let me rephrase this. Yes, Mike, you are 100% correct. Queen has been playing better. He's been steady. Everything, but he's still not playing up to first round potential. He's still not playing up to being the reason why we picked him when we picked him in the first round. That's my point.
I don't dispute that. But he's been playing better. I don't dispute
what right. But that's the bar. But like Roddy said, the bar is really low. We sitting there saying he's playing better. He's still not playing first round potential-ish, even though he's playing better. So that tells you how bad he was playing beforehand.
Let me ask you this then, Hendo.
Yes, sir.
Our QB is asking for a shit ton of money, correct?
Yes.
Is he playing to the level of that? No, despite what's around him.
Mm-hmm.
Is he playing to the level of the type of money he asking for?
Yes. Because we're winning.
Okay.
Now the reason I say this is because we are not a statistical type team. We aren't the type of team that bases everything off statistics, unless it comes to paying Lamar. Then they want to go about the superlatives of you only passed for this, you only did this and the third. But you want to put him with the minimum amount of help and then criticize what he has or has not done. You want to give him some of the worst coaching. You want to take some of the oldest coaches in the league with that old 2000 philosophy.
I think you can change that to sorriest and not oldest.
I'm trying to be nice here, but yes, you got some freaking bums up in here, and we want to criticize his numbers. So don't come to me.
Ask the question. I
know, not you. This is not for you, coach. This is for
bad.
So you can't. Don't come to me. So don't come to me and surround me with high school talent, and then tell me what I'm not doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my point. Now, is he worth the money? Yes, because certain things go outside of just his play on the field. Lamar puts people in the stands. Lamar sells merchandise. We're on Monday night next week because I meant to ask what we're going to do after the game. But Lamar is the reason we have these opportunities. Without Lamar Jackson, we're going back to the Flacco days when we're pretty much playing 1 o'clock every Sunday.
All right. To answer that question, I'll be at the game.
Okay.
So hopefully, if everybody's available, we can try to go Tuesday. And, I'm going to try to get my wife to leave New Orleans at enough time to get me back for 9 o'clock. So I still want to shoot for 9 o'clock Tuesday. And as long as I walk in the door before 8:50, we should be ready to roll. But she's going to let me go because she know how important it is to me. We ain't going to stay. We're going to get up and do whatever eating or shopping we need to do and get on back. It's like a 4.5, 5 hour drive for me.
But coach, you in New Orleans. You really going to rush back?
But who said I'll be there the whole weekend?
Okay, you got that. You got that.
Yeah. So I'll be there way before. I ain't just going Monday.
So to add on to what Hendo was saying, about Lamar, the thing is, you're saying maybe he's not playing up to that level right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he's shown you his level already. Patrick Queen hasn't. And Patrick Queen's never played up to that level.
True.
Lamar has showed you he's capable of being the best in the league, and the organization has failed him in terms of maintaining that. That's not really the case on Patrick Queen's side. He's building himself up. He's building himself up, but he's got a ways to go.
Gotcha. I agree with everything you said. Chris, I got O-line up there, but we on inside line. I still ain't changed. We on inside linebackers, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you want to see with Patrick Queen. Like, if he's playing at a first round level, you don't make that trade for Roquan Smith today. If he's playing at that first round level, but we are where we are. So the fact that the arrow is pointing up right now, these last 3 games, that's a positive thing. So, and I do agree with Coach and Mike about putting a guy like Roquan next to Patrick Queen should help him out and free him up, playing that will and, having less responsibility and having a dude who can match or even be better as far as the athletic standpoint with a guy like Roquan, having that kind of athlete next to you, that's going to help. And, what it reminds me of is when the Ravens had Darryl Smith and C.J. Mosley at the same time. Darryl Smith did a lot in order to help out young C.J. Mosley along the way in order to groom him to become that Mike linebacker that the Ravens had. Now I'm not sure how much grooming is going to be going on with Patrick Queen because I don't know how long he'll be here. But I do like it for the 2022 season. And pour one out for my man AJ Klein too. He was on point for this team.
AJ gets done dirty everywhere he goes.
Somebody, I did forget about this. We were talking about Ove. I can't remember his name, but whoever 47 is plays a lot.
Kennard, that's the new guy.
He plays a lot.
Off the practice squad.
If 99 was doing what he's doing, 47 shouldn't see the field, but not to go backwards. Hey, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. DBs, safeties and cornerbacks. Chris, you start us off.
Yeah, so with the cornerbacks, I thought they played all right. I mean, just when you're going up against, a dude like Mike Evans, I mean, I thought Marlowe had good coverage on that deep play, and it didn't even matter. Like, it was just like, it didn't matter at all. I wish he would have gifted us a drop like he did with the Panthers, but unfortunately he came down with that long pass. So what are you going to do? But the spot that is giving me some pause going forward is that cornerback. I mean, that slot corner spot. We saw them move Marlowe in there because, Pepe wasn't cutting it. Brandon Stevens wasn't cutting it. So they had to move Marlowe in there. And, going forward, I mean, not even going forward, throughout this season, we've seen teams go at that slot spot because it's been the major weakness. And, even MP, I mean, MP's play has not been stellar this year. He's kind of gotten picked on as well. Lack of, breaking down and wanting to tackle too. The teams have been going to his side a lot, and they've been successful. And so, it's not just the slot position, but also, MP side. And, I thought Geno Stone played well. I thought he had a good game.
He played every snap.
Yeah, so just props to Geno Stone. And, the dropped interception.
No, not Geno. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. The other guy, Stevens, I think. Who's the other safety that played? Somebody played every snap other than Chuck. No, Chuck and somebody else played every snap. I thought it was Stone. It might have been Stone. It was whoever the other safety was. They played every snap with it.
It had to have been Stone because Stevens wasn't out there all game. Pepe wasn't out there all game. But I counted 3 dropped interceptions. So that's something that you cannot do, especially against a guy like Tom Brady. I believe they scored almost after each one of those, and that's a common theme that we've seen with the Ravens, where they'll drop an interception. And then right on that same drive, a touchdown to be thrown. So that's something they have to clean up too.
B?
Yeah, Chris mentioned the dropped interceptions. And, they also were beat on several plays that Brady just couldn't connect on because Brady played horribly in that game. Yeah. So I thought the secondary was pretty bad overall, honestly. He gave up about 200 yards, just under 200 yards to Evans and Godwin, and it could have been a lot worse than that. So, again, it's another, like I said, the whole team overall is kind of lucky you're playing Tampa Bay in their current state.
Hendo?
Yeah, I agree with B. Like, they played decent. Like, they had their moments, but the drop interceptions, we got to stop that. And also, Mike Evans, I don't know what's going on with him and his hands. He's got a case of the drops. And if he'd have caught some of them passes, we looking at a different game. But to Chris's point, that slot receiver position, we got to do something because every game we may not be afforded the opportunity to keep putting Humphreys in the slot, depending on who we play. We're not going to see injured teams every week. And once again, I keep saying, don't let short-term success affect your long-term projections. Now we're sitting here and we're praising and we're saying, you did such a good job, but is this going to translate into the playoffs? That's my biggest thing. That's my only concern. Regular season, good to go, fine and dandy, but how is this going to translate into the playoff scenario? Are we going to put together 4 quarters in any of these games to show that we can do that?
Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The slide situation is ugly, right? I think Chris, you hit that on the head. I think spoke. I spoke on. I don't know who I spoke to about it, but I was saying how, um, I kind of gave McDonald props on, because we just spoke about this last week, on why they don't make adjustments on, if, like, Evans is killing Peters. Why don't we switch corners or whatever, right? And they did make that adjustment to put Marlowe on Godwin, on Goodwin or Godwin, whatever. What I get him and the other one
Oh,
confused. But
right, me
anyway,
too.
but they did switch, and he kind of slowed him in the second half. But I agree with you too, Hendo. Like, every week we might not be able to do that, right? Because you put Marlowe inside, you move Pepe outside, they gonna go right to that outside. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what happened to Armour Davis. I mean, he's deep in that doghouse. He hasn't got another shot since early on in the season. And I'm not ready to give up on Pepe, but yeah, slot is a situation that needs to be watched. MP, I think MP is not. I don't think he's 100% healthy. He's coming off a major injury as well, and I think his mind, he's playing like old MP, where he can bait somebody and then catch up on a play, and it's just his body ain't moving with his mind. But we also don't see him typically drop interceptions like that. That's usually money in the bank when you throw one like that. I think the mind. I think he is there mentally. Like, he's seeing things. He's you know he's assessing plays and ready to make plays on the ball. I just think that body ain't reacting like his mind is.
I agree. His he's still thinking he has that juice like he had before the injury, and it just ain't fully came back yet. I think they were average at best. The only bright spot to me was Hamilton's defense on the tight end. I feel like he could match up versus some tight ends, and I'm not saying the cat that they had is great, but for Hamilton just to defend the guy man to man and be there and make pass breakups, because he's not great right now. So that was a plus for me. But as far as everybody else, that was average. And I talked about the deep ball that Mike Evans caught. And I mean, sometimes offense is just better than your defense, because he ran the route and he did a little nuance in the route where he pushed Marlowe closer to the sideline and kind of like nudged him to the sideline, and Brady threw it inside, and Marlowe never could recover. And then you 6'5". You can't coach that. Marlowe, what, 5'10", 5'11"? And sometimes the offensive, like, I can guard Steph Curry to a T, but then he stepped back 6 feet behind his 3-point line and still shoot it. I ain't play bad defense. He just played bad offense. So that's why I am on that. But coaching and coaching, we just do coaching first. Chris?
I mean, I was already talking with Mike and Kerry during halftime. I'm like, hey man, you think they announced it at halftime that they're getting rid of G-Roll, or you think they're gonna do it in the morning? Like, we were for real having these conversations during halftime, and I was like, look, man, something gotta happen. And then G-Roll does what he does. It's like a bad relationship, where things are going bad, and you're like, I'm sick of this person. I'm getting done. I'm over with them. And then they come through the next day with like a gift and being the nicest person, and you're like, you know what? They won me back over. So, that's what it's like with G-Roll. It's like, why can't this brilliance just be like that all the time? Like, why does it have to be pulling teeth? Right. This offense with Lamar Jackson shouldn't look so difficult, but it consistently does. And that's a big problem. That second half, that was nice, but we cannot have this stuck in the mud offense all the time. So what is going on? Why does this happen so much? Why can it look brilliant and then it could look like trash in the same game? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
B?
Yeah, no, I agree with Chris. I mean, this is a guy who, and I saw a lot of praise for G-Roll after the game, right? Because, they adjusted at halftime and they were much better in the second half. All he did in the second half was run the offense that he should have been running from the beginning of the game. Like, he didn't make any adjustments. When we talk about adjustments, we're saying, hey, what you do is getting stopped, and you have to change things up to keep your offense working. He doesn't do that. This is a guy who's been an offensive coordinator for over 10 years, and you're asking for the bare minimum from him and getting it once every 5 weeks. Giro should have been gone, along with Harbaugh, and unfortunately for McDonald. I mean, I know he just got there, but you got to go too if your boys are going, right? All of them got to go. I'm sick of watching them.
Hendo?
Yeah, now to be put it like that, yeah, you're right. They should have just been running that the whole time. We came into the season saying we want to be a run first team, and we come out passing it. But I get that they were passing it because the cornerbacks and the safeties were injured. I will give Greg Roman credit. He switched it up. Yeah, but they still need to be fired. Like, they're not utilizing this team correctly. Mike McDonald, he's not ready for prime time. He's not a prime time player because, listen, to be quite honest with you, Byron Leftwich, he should have continued to run the ball because he showed on the first drive we couldn't stop the run, and he said, "You know what? Let's pass it. That'll work." And it didn't work. So yeah, but I mean, they made slight adjustments. And listen, all credit to Greg Roman. He sat Pat Ricard ass down. He took him out the game and didn't play him as much. And I think that made the biggest difference in the game.
Mike?
I need to see that breakdown. What was the play count on Ricard? Because he looked
like 39. I think he only had like 39 snaps.
Oh, is that all?
39, 51% of the plays.
I mean, that's
but he been playing 70, 80 though.
Yeah. I mean, it's just he's a fullback, and why 39?
Why is your fullback going in motion every play? I don't know.
Because he can. So that's why.
So during the game, because with this show in mind, I took a picture of the graphic that they put on the screen because I didn't want to forget this.
I think I tried to.
The Ravens, with 2+ running backs on the field at one time, does this an NFL high 64% of the time. The NFL average is 13%. Mm-hmm. With 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end on the field, the Ravens do this in NFL low 9% of the time. The NFL average is 62%. G-Ro don't get no props from me, buddy.
No, they play in a different sport.
I tried.
He
screenshot it. Amazon wouldn't let me. I'm glad you took a picture of it.
Yeah, I should have sent it to you, Coach. G-Ro playing cricket or something.
Okay.
I don't know what he playing rugby. He playing rugby. He's playing rugby right now, and I think it's
not football.
I agree with Chris on the fact of why can't we just put together one smooth, complete game plan? I'm not buying that they threw the ball 30 times in the first half to tire them out, because if that was old Brady, we would have been down 25-0,
right?
Or 24-3 going into halftime. If that was old Brady, so you because it wasn't working, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's not gonna work on everybody if that was the case, but I'm not buying it. But it's just, I mean, House, I see you. It's not.
I got it.
It's not. Finish your point. It's not hate, man. It's just the truth. You know what I mean? Like, if you think that that's pretty football, then you know what I mean. And don't get me wrong, football is an ugly sport. But if you think that is sound offense and consistent offense, we're not watching the same game. I just don't. I want to see a complete game plan. The Bills, they seem to have a complete game plan all game. Kansas City seem to have a complete game plan offensively all the time. Other teams just seem to have a smooth game plan. This is what we're going to do. Boom. And then they make adjustments. They make adjustments mid-game. We got to wait to halftime and then hope that we make those adjustments. So I'm not. Look, he called a better game in the second half, no doubt about it, right? But I'm not. That's not something I'm writing home about. I want to see that for 4 quarters.
All right. On me. First off, House. I ain't a motherfucker up here scared to say shit about Lamar. You got some real dudes on this panel that ain't scared of the bullshit y'all be doing. So I hate to kind of get out of character, but you tripping. And if you got a problem with what we think, I think we scared, your motherfucking ass ain't got to be here. You can fucking go.
Facts.
Just like that.
And
we
we spoke about that.
We always on Lamar. So you
We
come with
always
that
say-
bullshit, we gonna make it be where you can go talk to them other motherfuckers that don't know what the fuck they talking about. That's what you can do.
I ain't even see that one, Coach. I was
But other
talking.
than
I
that,
didn't even. Listen,
I was talking about where he said the G-Ro hate, but yeah,
no, it's right up under there.
yeah, I see. Now I see. But we don't have no problem criticizing Lamar. We say that all.
But yeah, you don't have to be here. It's that simple. It's like I follow Off Script and he do a lot of SWAC and HBCU stuff. He got this little thing that says you can unfollow me, and it's a little song. Do that. Go find your content somewhere else. And my Twitter things. You got something to say it. If you want to say it now, say it before you be blocked. But you got a minute. Don't come with that bullshit though. It's just that simple. All right, now what were you talking about?
No, I agree with what you were saying 100% because hey, there been games we always start with quarterback talk, and there have been weeks where we've started off and we've all been critical of Lamar. It's not just this is just G-Ro. This is just G-Ro. No, like Lamar could have a bad game, but G-Ro could also call a crappy ass game too.
True.
Both things can be true at the same time.
Thanks.
But right now we're talking about the coordinator. We're not talking about the quarterback right now. We're talking about the coordinator. This is what this segment is about, the coordinator.
Can't come in an hour out. We start with quarterbacks.
Right.
You can't come in an hour in and say we afraid to blame Lamar. That's not the
But
case.
but once again, it comes to some people that want to push their own narrative and agenda. If you want to be really real about it, look at G-Ro at San Francisco. Look at G-Ro at Buffalo. His rankings always start at the top that first year, and every year after it goes downhill at every stop that he's been at. So please miss me with that. It's not Lamar, it's whatever. Listen, if G-Ro was so highly coveted, why didn't he get a head coaching offer? Not a head coaching job, an offer. Because nobody wants him because they know he's full of shit. How about that?
He would have got one after Lamar won MVP.
It didn't matter. No, he would have at least had an interview. They don't even want to talk to this dude because they know he's old school, he's out of place, and he's out of date. And nobody wants that. He can only run one offense with variations from input from other people. Now you didn't see this before Martin and Higgins got, T. Martin and Keith Williams got here. You didn't see any of these variations before they got here.
Right.
So don't think that it's all G-Ro in here doing this, getting in his vault, getting in his bag. Because me as an offensive coordinator, I don't need to tell you I got a vault. I'm just going to go in and design another play and go about my business. I don't need to tell the media or the world what I got or what I'm going to do.
All right.
And I did hear though, I did read that the Panthers are trying to make G-Ro their next head coach.
Hey, we were talking about coach. The only thing I give G-Ro credit for is, and I don't know, it may have been him, it may not have been him, because I tweeted that somebody else was calling plays that second half. But the RPO returned finally. And I hadn't seen us run RPOs probably since early in the season, if at all. And that worked a couple times, and Lamar's good at them. I just don't know why we haven't been using them. So
Agent E, I don't got no beef with Hobbs. I really don't. I just don't respect a man that'll come out and say, I'm not going to hire a guy that can be my replacement, which is telling me you're not hiring the best people for the job. You're just hiring mainstays that's going to keep you employed, or that can be kind of replaced anytime you get on the hot seat. I don't have a problem with him. I just have a problem with his philosophy. Like, where are these
problem with what he stands for and who he is as a man.
What I just like about Harb is the stuff he said about receivers when he made the comment. I don't remember the exact comment, but he was like,
when I'm not going to
worry about the stats, you can go play somewhere else. And
he said, I'm not going to beg any receivers to come here. If you want to be about winning and team, then you can come here. But if you're all about stats, go somewhere else. That's what he said.
But it's
even
funny
if you
he
think
would
like that, don't say it.
Right.
But it's funny he would say that because he's not about winning, right? Like, you can't say, I'm not going to hire somebody who could take my job. If you're winning, you're going to lose your job. So what are you worried about?
Facts.
they'll go get jobs elsewhere unless they're Greg Roman. Like y'all talking about Lamar's MVP year. Why didn't he get an interview after he went to the Super Bowl with San Francisco?
How about
I
that?
forgot about that. I did forget about that. And I
Oh.
think the only reason he the OC now is because he just happened to be on staff when they decided to go with Lamar.
Listen, we all need to be thanking Greg Roman for our Super Bowl. Because he threw the ball 3 straight times when we couldn't stop the run. They were at the 5-yard line. And we couldn't stop Frank Gore for
With
nothing.
Hall of Famer Frank Gore. Yeah.
Yes, we couldn't stop him for nothing. And Greg Roman said, I'm gonna throw it 3 times the Crabtree.
Yep. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
But other than that, he gotta go.
So elephant in the room. Chris got sources. I don't know what Jordan talking about. What?
Chris.
No,
what's up?
The G-Roll thing. G-Roll to Carolina.
Like, y'all can laugh at that, but you know Greg Roman don't go anywhere without an exceptional black man by his side. So
Facts.
That's what PJ Walker for.
You got PJ Walker, baby.
So any given Sunday.
that's low, is what that is. All right, I thought we don't get disrespectful up here. All right, y'all can put that PJ Walker stuff away.
I got you got to pay for disrespect here. So I'll see you Wednesday, my man.
So we any given Sunday, and he Willie beaming and taking them with him.
That's right. I'll take Greg if Lamar coming too. We ain't afraid to fire coaches over here.
Wow,
we are.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. B, is this what you was gonna say? We didn't like.
Yeah, because you saw the comment earlier, and you didn't really like the comment earlier. But when I saw
which comment?
The comment.
Yeah, before the show. He said
that
dude
comment
was in there already talking shit.
But, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when I saw this, I mean, first of all, it's a joke, right? Like I had talked about this maybe like a week or two ago, that the defense was starting to get healthy, right? You're going to get Bowser back next week. Ajabo's coming in, possibly within a few weeks. Marcus Williams should be coming back within the next few weeks. So the defense is going to get healthy. You're hitting that soft spot, that soft part in the schedule. They're going to play really well. Baltimore's going to win a bunch of games in a row, and everybody's going to think, oh, man, the defense is great. The offense is working. It's all good. But it's not going to be all good. You're going to get to the playoffs, and you're going to get the brakes beaten off of you again because you don't have any receivers, right? And I sit there, I see Roquan Smith coming to Baltimore for a 2nd and a 5th. And my immediate thought was, if I were Lamar Jackson, I'd be calling up EDC and demanding a trade right now, and I wouldn't play another down for Baltimore. Like, you don't have Rashad Bateman for the next however many weeks. You don't even know how long he's going to be out. And you're telling Lamar, you got to get it done with Tylan Wallace and Demarcus Robinson and James Prochet and Devin Duvernay. But little Patrick needs help on the other side. Even though everybody on the defense, you're talking about all those guys are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks. Everybody out there. Patrick needs some help. He needs somebody to stand next to him and help him do his job. But on the offense, you just got to get it done. No excuses. Just go out there. You got to score points. Figure it out. And I mean, it's
Queen ain't going there like, hey, some help.
and it made me even angrier because Roquan Smith's contract is up after this year, right? Sure. So you're talking about paying him a massive contract after this season to keep him, or you just sent out a 2nd round pick for a 10 game, and a 5th, and AJ Klein. Don't forget about AJ. No AJ erasure over here. For a 10 game rental or 8 game rental or whatever, and then doing the Baltimore Raven thing of we're not going to sign anybody so we can get that comp pick. So it'll really only be like dropping down a little bit in the draft, not giving up the 2nd round pick, right? But when it was on the offensive side and it was time to pay Hollywood, you said we can't do that. We got to move him up out of here.
Yeah.
So I thought it was, a continuation of the years-long embarrassment of having Eric DaCosta as a GM.
Yeah. So I'm not mad at that. You spit to me all facts. Now, Roquan, the player, exceptional player. Mm-hmm. The move, I'm glad he's a Raven, but if I'm like you said, if I'm the guy making the moves, that's not the move I make.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that also. I like Roquan as a player, obviously. I mean, I think, he's going to help the defense. I don't think he's going to make a huge impact because the defense is already good. But, I mean, just in a vacuum, getting Roquan Smith is a good thing. Just not for Baltimore when you have such major holes on the offense.
True. Hendo?
I mean, listen, like you said, I like Roquan Smith, and my thing is this: everybody knew they were going to do this. Why not do it before the beginning of the season?
Yeah, because Roquan was about to hold out, right?
He was, and we all knew that this was coming. Why wait till now? What's so important about now? And I guarantee you, so I'm not even really pissed because this is a move that I expect from Baltimore. What's going to piss me off is tomorrow before 4:00, the Ravens are going to trade for a cornerback.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Denzel Mims.
I take him. Like, at least make an effort to show you trying to do something.
No effort.
but I'm telling you, they're gonna go for a cornerback tomorrow and say we're gonna stick with what we got. We got Deshaun and we got Isabella on the bench waiting, and we didn't need to do anything else. Travesty. Yeah, I mean, what else did they say? It's a Raven move.
I just didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, you good. It's a Raven move. What else? What else did we expect from them?
Mike?
We still haven't found Isabella Hendo. we can't count on him. Look, I'm not mad at the move. I mean, no, let me say this. I like Roquan. I think he will help, right? I think that type of talent is only gonna make your team better. But clearly, I'll say this: whenever you fill a hole or a void on your team, you got better, right? And I think they did fill a void with Roquan, but you got craters on the other side of the field that are deepening, and and they need to be filled ASAP. And if you don't fill that, to B's point, when money time hits, and that's usually in the playoffs, we need somebody to make a play. We ain't gonna have that. Right,
and think about we're gonna be healthy in the playoffs. What's the good corner for Buffalo?
Trey,
yeah. When you need somebody to go up there and make a play for you, we don't have that, and that is listen. We got a couple more hours, right? I read that Brandon Cooks they only looking for a second round pick. I don't know how many picks we got. We can finagle and get one.
And Brandon Cooks is owed $18 and $13 million. It's not going to happen.
We only paying. I don't know if y'all know it or not, but we only paying Roquan $500,000 this year. The Bears are paying the other whatever the amount is.
Yeah, but I don't think Houston's going to eat that money for Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
no.
I was just saying that for people that didn't know, like the money wise for Roquan. But Brandon got deep pockets.
Y'all ain't got the picks to get Brandon now though, because you got a middle linebacker. Congrats.
Well, you might have to move into 2024 or something. But I mean, listen, I don't know, but they need. I mean, it was a bittersweet move, right? Because it's like, okay, yeah, he's good, but that offensive side of the ball, we missing something. And Chris, I know you're gonna point it out when you speak, but I saw your tweets, man, and I saw some people kind of coming at you like, well, he's a great player, and it's like, I'm not saying he's not great, but this is a very expensive rental or a very expensive piece. Do you want to pay a linebacker $100 million? You know what I mean? So those things are all those things you have to consider. I would hate for this to be a rental, right? So I almost think that you got to sign him. But what is that check going to look like? It's going to be expensive, right?
And who we had to sacrifice?
Right. There you go.
That's the main question.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like I said, I think he's going to ball out. You're going to see a different exciting defense. He's going to make some plays. But offensively,
are you laughing at this?
I'm laughing at Danny.
Yeah, but we'll see, man. Like I said, you put that type of talent on the field, you're gonna get better. But it's just we missing, man. We got a lot of holes on the opposite side of the ball, and what we gonna do about that is the question.
Right,
Chris.
Yeah, like, you know, Roquan obviously he's gonna make the defense better. I mean, anybody with, you know, two pairs of eyes can see that he's gonna make them better. But I love it for the 2022 Ravens. I love it for that. But beyond that, I can't say that I love it because, like Mike just said, either he's gonna be a rental or you're gonna have to pay close to $20 million for an inside linebacker after you just drafted one in the first round and one in the third round in 2019. That's a lot of resources for inside linebackers. Now, my thinking is when it comes to just roster construction, we have Cam Newtons of the world, we have the Andrew Lucks of the world, where you see what happens when you don't prioritize making sure your quarterback is protected and making sure your quarterback has weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Always happy to be a cautionary tale. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I mean, we preaching to the choir right now.
Speak on it, B. You spoke on it before.
Firsthand.
No, are you? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, you good, man. I mean, hey, you speaking to it firsthand, so you already know and you've seen what it's like. And right now, the Ravens, you look at the wide receiver room, and how do you look at that room and say, you know, we're good, we're fine? You can't. Now, do I look at the linebacker room and say, I think we could get through the playoffs with that? I think we can. I don't look at even without Roquan. If you just got PQ, Bynes, Harrison, what's the rookie's name? Ross, when he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at that room, you're like, all right, you know, it's not the best room linebacker core in the world, but you know, we could get through it. Right. Now, if you look at the wide receiver room, you don't look at that room and say, oh yeah, we could get through it with those guys, especially with Bateman being hurt now. So
for the second time this year.
For the second time this year, third time in his career.
Mm-hmm. Brashad Perriman.
So it's just like I don't know what direction they want to go in from a roster standpoint, where you got a guy who's probably going to command maybe not 100 million, but close to 100 million for a linebacker. And if you're going to give him that, where exactly is, like, what's the vision for this roster?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you still got to pay Lamar.
Right.
It's just very weird and very strange to me, the roster construction that's going on right now. But for the 2022 Ravens, I like it, so I'm gonna just try to stay in this season and just you know, be positive.
Stay in the moment.
Yeah.
My take. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say my take on it is I'm kind of like Chris. For the 2022 Ravens, I think it's going to help the defense as a whole. I think putting Roquan in the middle of that defense helps the other 10 people who were on the field with him at the time, because you have to respect his ability and you have to allocate guys to getting a hat on him, which could help not just Patrick Queen, but could help the front four, or could help the DBs and, you know, in coverage. I think he's a guy that let me see. He's like I want to say like a younger LeBron when he had like that team he took to the championship, because they really were garbage for the most part.
Yeah.
But with him attracting so much attention, they were able to get, you know, open looks and be able to do the things that professionals should do. So it's kind of that scenario for me. Like with the Steve, yeah, gravity, exactly. And one of y'all talked about that before, I think, a gravity player. I think that was Kerry, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Kerry.
So I think that's what he is for the defense. But to give up a second and a fifth, and y'all know how we value picks, this cannot be for a rental in my eyes. Okay. And then if it's not for a rental, where are we going to get the money to pay Lamar what he commands?
Maybe that's the point. Mm-hmm. Maybe we going all in on defense because we know Lamar's gone.
Because it's like we building this team. Like, I think, Hendo, you might have said it in the past. We building this team to try to win games 17-14. That ain't the NFL we live in.
Well, you signed your Ed Reed and Marcus Williams, and you just traded for your Ray Lewis, and you know they didn't have a quarterback, and they didn't need one, right? So you send Lamar over send him on down to Carolina. and y'all do what you do in Baltimore. You try to win your field goal battles, and try not to pay attention to Lamar winning rings.
I wouldn't mind that if they could pay the NFL to switch the rules back to the early 2000s rules. But until that happens, you know, the days of those dominant defenses, that's just not the NFL anymore.
Right.
We
The
saw
the rules are made for receivers right now.
Exactly. We saw the Bills, who had the best defense in the NFL last year, give up 43 points in the playoffs, and that was the best defense.
And the second best defense, they dropped 40-some on them the
47.
week before in New England.
47. They got 47 points dropped on them.
It's you can't do it with a dominant defense. It's nice to have a good defense, but they are no longer dominant defense.
You need situational defense, I think.
Right.
Timely defense.
Timely defense. That's a good term. Anybody else want to? And I what I said I was going to do is we're just going to skim through our normal spiel, and you know, a few people ask questions, and those questions will probably kind of revert back to some of the stuff we already talked about. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go through those questions real quick because it's not very many.
I just got a question.
Go ahead.
Because you know, Taurus is up here. He sat up here and said Hollywood Brown was mid. He said Jerry Jeudy is mid. What is Rashad Bateman?
A1.
And what is Devin Duvernay? You talk about all these other quarterbacks are mid. What are those two guys?
A2.
Well, I mean, he said that Owe is good and he's doing his thing. So I mean, you know what it is.
Right, but you know, I want to know. He's talking about everybody mid. What are Bateman and Duvernay?
The crazy thing is,
with Bate.
I tweeted a screenshot of an article in the Athletic about the Ravens trading for Jerry Jeudy, and there were people up under that tweet saying he sucks and drops and yada yada. And then, you know, yesterday Jeudy snapped, and so I went back to them same people and asked them what were they saying, and crickets. None of them replied. None. So it is what it is. But you know, people, they push, like you said, media push agenda, but regular people push one too. And if they got a problem with somebody, no matter what that person does, it's not going to change how they see that person. And that's how a lot of people are with Queen. No matter, he could come out and play to the top of his potential. And they'll never
go out like that right when he's on your show.
I feel attacked.
That wasn't at you, Hendo.
Listen, and here's the thing. I don't
think you dislike Queen.
I don't dislike
like
Queen
that.
at all.
You just dislike the pick. You always say it. You dislike his production for being picked in that spot, and you say that all the time, and which I agree with it.
But let me be on record to say, Queen gonna ball out next year.
Somewhere else.
No, he gonna ball out for the Ravens next year.
I thought it was gonna be.
He's gonna ball out for the. It's a contract.
No, it's so that he can ball out somewhere else the following year.
Facts.
Gotcha. So first question. It says, I'm gonna see if I can put this up there. This from, and I think he's in the chat. This DDSQ. From what do you think Bateman is a true number one, or is it too early to tell? Hendo, take that one. You think Bateman is a true number one? Is it too early to tell?
No, he's not a number one. He's a number two. First of all, Brodney and I had this argument last year during training camp when I kept telling Brodney, like, yo, he can't even make it through one practice without getting hurt. And Brodney's like, oh, I just give him a chance. You know, he gonna be around. No, listen, you call it what you want. He's injury prone. He's injury prone, and he played 5 games this year so far. I'll keep saying it.
Like that.
4.5, 5 games. And in those 4.5, 5 games, he has more drops than Hollywood Brown had in 16 game schedule last year. Keep that same energy. He's not.
Gotcha. Second part of the question says, with all the young receivers locked up, do the Ravens have any options to upgrade the position outside of the draft?
Yes, we named it. Cooks, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, some people have been clamoring for Claypool. I don't really care too much for Notre Dame players, but listen, there are options out there. There are people that we could have traded for. What's the guy that we kept talking about in New York?
Elijah Moore.
For the Giants.
Tony?
Kadarius.
No. The one we just played, and he actually looked pretty good against us.
Shepard?
Slayton.
Darius Slayton.
What the hell am I talking about?
Darius Slayton. Like, there are options out there. And Elijah Moore, listen, he said he doesn't want to be with the team. I don't know why they want to keep him, because listen, Zach Wilson ain't getting nobody the ball. We have options if we truly want to get someone. And the Ravens have shown in the past, if they truly seek out somebody, they'll find a way to get them and bring them in the building.
True.
There's one guy left out there who they ain't got to spend no draft picks.
Will
on.
Fuller.
No, he just retired.
Did he?
OBJ.
He's not coming
I'm
back.
just saying. Hey, if you want, make him an offer he can't refuse.
He plays for offense. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Now, as much as I would like, I'd go 8. You know what? If OBJ was on our team, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. Brandon came in. He says, "Do you think the Ravens put Smith, Malik in the middle, PQ on the outside, to kind of to put him in Palomalu's situations with the speed?" B, I'll let you take that one. Basically, trying to say play 3.
Nah.
No, put
mean-
Smith in the middle, Smith and Malik in the middle, and use PQ like a strong safety or something like that. I guess
Right, but he doesn't have. I mean, no offense, Mike, but he doesn't have the kind of awareness to be able to play that role at this point, right? Or he hasn't shown it. I mean, I don't think that you really want to see Patrick Queen running around with no assignment. Like that. I don't think he's at a point in his career where you can let that go freelance, and I don't think that's what they're intending to do.
Well, sort of like how they using Hamilton, right? Putting PQ in that role, I guess.
Another first round pick that is literally out here doing nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how many assistants do you need on the field on defense at once?
Chris, you take this one. It said thoughts on holding Andrews out since we having a bye week the following month after the Monday game. What you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, he should have been held out this last game, and Bateman should have been held out. Coming off of a short week, don't have a full week of practice, and you got dudes limping into the game. And I mean, in hindsight, it's like, yeah, they won even without those dudes. But I think before the game, there were a lot of people saying, hey, if these guys aren't healthy, didn't we learn our lesson in 2021? Like, let's hold these guys out and live to fight another day. Now, with Andrews, luckily, it doesn't seem like it's a real serious injury, but still, like, protect him from himself. Even if he wants to play, like, don't let him play. It's we got this stretch coming where it's going to be a lot of time off, and these dudes could heal up. Let's take advantage of that instead of him possibly getting injured worse.
Was Mark hurt going into the game?
Yeah,
he had a knee, and this is a new injury.
Yeah, this is shoulder.
Yeah, he ain't practiced all week.
Knee and ankle, I believe, going into the last game.
The last 2 games, he had a thigh and an ankle injury, and then he hurt his shoulder on this game. So,
yeah, he ain't practiced all week either. So it was looking like he wasn't going to play anyway.
Okay,
but
cool. And it's not a question, but just to finish off, it says, in my opinion, I'd like to see LJ get his chemistry down with Robinson, Prochet, and Likely. Let's go to the next one. Mr. London. He says, are we getting a wide receiver before the trade deadline? And if so, who? Mike?
So on the LBHT show, you heard this before, I'm sure, Yolanda. I've always said that, we'll go down the route of Jake Kumaro, that type of guy. So we see wanted to be something slack like that. I think we our wide receiver just came in the form of a linebacker. So we might get somebody, but it's not gonna be game breaker. It'll be in the DeMarcus Robertson, maybe a little better mold if we get a guy, but nothing that'll be game breaking or nothing that we'll have to jump on here and talk about.
Anybody else want to take that one? I got a short answer for it. No.
Yeah, they're not gonna. They just traded the pick that they would need to get a wide receiver of any kind of impact. And when you're talking about trading for players in the NFL, you have to typically trade for players who are on expiring contracts, like you just saw with Roquan. So they're not gonna trade another valuable pick and bring in another player who they're gonna have to give an extension to at the end of the season. So
I think the only chance we may have, if they want to do that, was to then you got to give up the 3rd and the 4th, and then that leaves you with 3 picks, and they ain't going for that. So unless or first, and I don't know, I really don't think they want to do that either. Cole says, as fellow YouTuber Cole, with two guys, was it two guys watching football? I think that's it. He said he wanted to know our Roquan reactions, which we already did. What's the impact on Queen? And I think we all maybe want to take a shot at that. We kind of talked about it a little bit. What's the impact on Queen with the signing of? With the trading for Roquan?
It takes the spotlight off of him. He doesn't have to do as much in coverage. So I think if they just give him a read and react type situation, like see ball, get ball, I think that's the best thing for Queen. Take out the thinking portion, let him react to the ball. That might be best for him. I mean, like I said, the Roquan Smith trade is not bad by any means, but it's just that how often are we going to upgrade this defense to not score in the playoffs?
And he mentioned the heavy nickel usage. Let's talk about the heavy nickel. So I think first of all, let's talk about the personnel in it. Probably gonna have four down linemen. Well, 2 down linemen and 2 edge guys, whether that be Oway in Houston or somebody that plays those positions. Then you're looking at Queen and Roquan, and now you're either looking at Chuck. You're looking at Chuck, Gino, and Kyle Hamilton maybe. Then you got your 2 cornerbacks. I'm assuming that's the heavy nickel you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
How I think that makes us vulnerable versus passing teams, but I think it helps us versus run teams. What you guys think?
I agree. That lineup, as far as on paper and the names, it's one of those John Madden, lineups. Like, yeah, that's you create that while you playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. Against passing teams, I think we'll get ate up. Hamilton, Hamilton and Chuck aren't the greatest in coverage. So that would make us weak there. But yeah, I think against the run, I would put that up against any team against the run. But yeah,
I think the issue with that is because you got 2 guys that can't really play deep.
Yeah,
with Chuck and Hamilton. So now you're looking at a single high safety with Stone, and again, that's your run defense.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as passing, I think if they got 2 1.5 good receivers and a half a tight end, we might struggle.
So you mean every team in the league not named Baltimore?
And Chicago.
Even Chicago, man. Like, I'll take Darnell Mooney and half of Equinemius.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say, had this trade been a 2nd, a 5th, and a 7th for Klein, and we get Mooney and Roquan, that'd been a great. That's a win. Been hats off.
Yeah.
So if you could have threw another like a late pick in there and got Mooney too, that would have made this different. But they didn't.
But you know why you couldn't do that, right? Because Chicago has let go of Khalil Mack, they let go of Roquan Smith, they let go of Akeem Hicks. They've stockpiled a ton of picks, and they're not going to replace
Quinn too.
And Robert Quinn, but they're not going to replace Quinn, Roquan, and Khalil and Akeem. They're going to build around their young quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to go get him some weapons.
They're going to put some weapons on the field, and they're going to put a wall around him.
Nice.
And they got $100 million in cap space.
Yep. Yeah. So they got a plan over there in Chicago.
Yeah.
Do we have a plan?
No.
Well, before we get into the Bears, I mean, they did draft Vasilis Jones as their, wide receiver. So they got the picks, they got the money, but they still got to, put that plan into place. So
right,
because I feel like what they've done for Fields has just not been good at all.
It's criminal.
No, absolutely,
it's criminal.
Absolutely. But I think that they are starting to turn that corner. Like a Patrick Queen.
Mm-hmm. B, I think Easy got I think Easy got an answer to your question.
Plan is to get on Lamar's back.
What's the difference?
But like, which Lamar is that going to be? Because Jackson going to be somewhere else if this is the road they keep going down.
Right.
Boy, I hope that don't happen. But
Speaking of playing though, real quick, I don't know. They got to have something, right? Because going back to us acquiring Roquan, right? Whether it's a rental or long term, you typically you do a rental because you feel like you just one piece away from being a Super Bowl contender, right?
Right.
And we not that with Roquan or not. We not that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't that doesn't bump us into that category. So that to me, right, that must mean that he's in their long-term future plans. So, you know, I guess that's the plan. You sign Roquan, you tag Lamar, and then you run it back with you run it back with 10 on, you just throw 10, you just put 11 out there. You don't even know who you'll know two players on the defense. You'll know Roquan, and then you'll know Marcus Williams, and then everybody else is just be like, I don't know that guy because we ain't gonna have no money.
right.
But he must be in there long term.
They'll have the money. They'll have the money. The cap is about to shoot up. With about 20, 30 million. Like they'll be able to keep the guys on defense, and they will because that's what they do. And then they'll just say, hey, yeah, we don't have anything for the offense.
All right. So Melvin dropped in 2. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, B.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying Melvin dropped 2. He says it's Roquan's Chuck replacement. I talked about it in my earlier that I think eventually Roquan could replace Chuck as the green dot holder, and then you'll be able to get Chuck off the field in some situations and maybe put a few more athletic guys in passing situations. So maybe after the bye week, maybe I don't know if that's going to be enough time to get him up to speed. But if he plays Monday, definitely not Monday. But we do have a bye after the Monday game. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so maybe after the bye week, he can take that, but down the stretch, he can take it. But eventually, I like the fact that he maybe can take the green dot from Chuck, and then you can get a little bit more versatile on that back end with putting more athletic cover guys out there.
Geno Stone not athletic?
No, Geno Stone plus other people. I'm saying just take Chuck off because Chuck and Geno out there together now.
All Chuck do is make plays for y'all, and all y'all do is try to hurt Chuck.
When the last time Chuck made a play?
Listen.
Wow.
Listen.
When the last time Kyle made a play?
Never.
Hey. If you look at the PFF grade, Kyle Hamilton is the truth.
Man.
Turns out, it's funny you mentioned that because PFF told me that I'm very happy with CJ Henderson this week. So that was cool to find out after the
game. Hey, Lord have my something. He says, "Great the Smith trade for 2022. A for long term, potentially a F if it's a 1-year rental. What y'all think?"
It's not a 1-year rental.
Okay.
I give it a D for 2022, and long term, I would probably give it a B because I do think he's a better player than Patrick Queen. I think this signals the end of Patrick Queen in Baltimore, but for 2022, I think it means no help for the offense, and thus the end of the Super Bowl run.
Gotcha.
We were on a Super Bowl run?
Allegedly. You should be. You have the quarterback.
Hendo, you supposed to ignore that.
No, coach, because I'm tired of people saying, yeah, we've been in Super Bowl contention for years. When? What year?
Listen, when you have the quarterback, you should be competing for Super Bowl. It's Eric's fault that you're not seriously a contender. But this puts an end to it, right? If that trade had said Baltimore acquires Jerry Jeudy for a 2nd-round pick, or Baltimore acquires Chase Claypool, whoever else, we'd be sitting here having a much different conversation about their playoff hopes.
Listen, gotcha. B, it ain't over yet. We got till 4 p.m.
Yeah, to trade that other 2nd-round pick.
No, they're going to trade for T. Higgins after this Bengals game is done.
I wish.
Boy, Chris is crazy.
Yes,
all right, so Bourbon Warlock had a good question. He said,
why didn't we get AJ Brown?
Who's getting the franchise tag, Quan or LJ?
Oh,
L-
it's LJ, no
it's
question.
L-
Yeah, LJ.
It's LJ because he's getting a non-exclusive one, and he's going to net us 2 first-round picks.
Okay.
He damn well better net you more than that. But it has to be Lamar Jackson because he plays quarterback, and Roquan plays off-ball linebacker. So you should not franchise that.
Come on, Cam. You know we ain't got no plan.
Hold on, I'm gonna come back to you, Cam. Hold on, make sure I got these. Which wideout we talked about that. Suburban Warlock also said, "Do you see 4-3 in our future?"
Nah.
I think 4-3 ish with what's the tall kid name? Hamilton being like the hybrid.
The tall kid.
Yeah, he is tall. He should be like 6'4".
I know, Coach. But,
You mean the 14th overall pick?
oh man,
The tall kid?
the one but 415. That one, that guy. But next question: how can we pay Lamar Smith? It's difficult. I got a question I can't see because the dude got his account blocked if you don't follow him. So he'll be all right. I don't know what that's like. But let's go to these super chats real quick. We almost done, fellas. Renard says no wide receiver makes a difference while Greg Roman is the OC. Facts. No, not facts. There are some guys out there that can overcome. Somebody said this earlier. I don't know who said it on the panel, but you have to make the most out of your touches with Greg Roman because you may not get a lot of them. Let me take this off because it's hiding Chris.
this is true.
The thing is and there are a few guys in the league, and I don't think we can have the access to get them, but they can make the most out of 7 touches, like a Tyreek Hill, guys like that. The most guys need volume, and you're not gonna get volume in Baltimore. The only person that may get volume is Mark.
You know, I'm not sure I agree with that. Like, I mean, I know that's how they run it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who else deserves volume in Baltimore? Nobody. And Baltimore's had chances to get guys like that, like Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. You know, there's a long list of great wide receivers who have moved. No, yeah, I mean, I don't believe they're in on any of them, but I'm saying they had the opportunity.
Yeah, I say that because of Jose's
right. Yeah, but I think if you get one of those guys into Baltimore, they would get the targets. You know, I mean, even Hollywood wasn't the most targeted guy in the league, obviously, but I mean, he got his. Yeah, he got his targets. Sure. And if you get a receiver better than Hollywood, you're going to go out there and you're going to give him the ball. When Greg Roman had wide receivers, he would throw him the ball. Like he had Sammy Watkins early on when Sammy still wanted to play football. Sammy had 1,300 yards under Greg Roman.
He did, sure did.
He had over 1,000 yards for Anquan and I believe Vernon Davis in the same year. He had over 1,000 yards to Michael Crabtree. Like he can get the volume for guys who warrant it, but that's just not the guys that Baltimore has.
Greedy Williams.
Let's see what Cam said. Cam said, "Y'all making me nervous tonight. LOL, we better have a plan. Trade Cleveland and a tight end, hopefully for a wide receiver. Yep, Chuck gone tomorrow at the end of the year." The thing is, I don't think nobody even want Cleveland.
Like,
he's been hurt.
Ravens fans always trying to push their trash on people, man. He didn't even name a tight end. He just said any one of them.
Any of them.
I saw somebody in there saying they could have got DJ Moore for that second end. No, you can't. Everybody else ain't like y'all. Everybody else knows that these players have value.
Free Wi-Fi said this game is a prime example of what one great weapon can do for a quarterback. What game?
He talked about Cleveland.
He said that Cleveland, Cincinnati, but he said that before T. Higgins just mossed Greedy Williams and took it in for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. I don't have it on today, so I ain't know what he was talking about. Appreciate it. Let's see. We could be bought out, fellas. We could, yeah.
We got that last super chat?
I thought last one was free Wi-Fi, I thought.
Oh, okay. I still see one up at the top. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I jumped him before the other two. I went to him first.
Mega, I like how you thinking.
Bottom from where?
Oliver and Cleveland for Cup. Let's do it. Make that happen tomorrow.
Hey, turn the Madden on, baby.
We'll throw in the 3rd round pick with that.
Right.
you know what? Here's the third round. Go ahead.
Just
Play
go
the
ahead.
trade.
You are so gracious.
Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. So what with we got through everything. We talked about the elephant in the room. We went through our recap of so what, and the reason we kind of sped ball through it because the game was Thursday, and like I think Hendo and then when we first started, it felt like almost 2 weeks ago since the game happened, and then what the news that happened today, that kind of gave us a little bit more to sink our teeth into, whether you like it or not. Because if you like it, great. If you don't like it, I understand why. Because it wasn't it's an upgrade at the position, but it wasn't a position of need, in my opinion. And that's my last say on it. And I open the floor for you guys to give a last piece on the Roquan trade.
Well, I was actually just going to ask you, Coach. Like, Hendo had mentioned this earlier when we first started talking about Roquan. Would coming into the season, everybody was like, okay, Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison, they're fine there. But the real area of need is edge. Would you not rather they use those picks to get Khalil Mack, because that's what he went for, than using those picks for Roquan? Or do you prefer Roquan moving forward?
At today or before preseason, before the season is?
But like before, would you want Baltimore to have traded for Khalil before the start of the season?
Before the start of the season, I would have said Khalil,
yeah.
Because of with especially the age guys and then the other guys hurt, I would have said Khalil, yeah. I would have been all in on that.
Yeah.
Did I fall for a trap?
No. I mean, that's kind of what that was my thinking as well. I mean, I think that not that middle linebackers can't affect the game, obviously, but they're one of the lower impact positions. And I think that
safety.
I mean,
sacks affects the game so much more than almost anything other than interceptions. Right. If you talk about defensively, what affects the game the most? Interception or fumble, and then sacks next. Because sacks put people behind the sticks, and what I'm seeing is very few coordinators that can win when they get behind the sticks.
Right.
Definitely ours can't, but it is what it is. Anybody else about Roquan?
I like the pickup. I think he's a young linebacker. Listen, he's all over the field. Like he can cover. And then that's one thing I think that we struggle with Patrick Queen. Like Patrick Queen makes plays, but he still hasn't figured out how to cover backs out the backfield and tight ends. Listen, EDC is good for making an impact trade. I give him that. But if he would just hit on these draft picks, we wouldn't have to sign these free agents. We wouldn't have to make these trades if he would just hit on some of these draft picks. Yeah. But overall, the Roquan thing is decent. I just hope that he makes a move. And listen, even if he brings in an offensive lineman tomorrow, I'll give him a little more leeway, because let's not think that this offensive line is a finished product.
True.
Like, we do need some help there, and we need some depth, because we don't know what's going to happen. Yep. We are 8 weeks in, and we are just a rotation of injuries to this team, offensively and defensively. So I'm gonna give him till 4:00 before I pass judgment on EDC.
Gotcha. Chris, Mike.
Like I said, I think it fills a void, right? So, and then that, like I said, that type of talent, you put that on the field, you get better, So from that standpoint, the Ravens got better today, right? Dairy Queen hips are still.
Damn Panthers fans, boy.
But from that standpoint, the Ravens got better today, right? So I guess you can look at that as a win, But again, I'm with my man Chris. I can't help but to think long term, because we've seen this before. Like they made a move for
Unique Ngakoue.
Yep, Unique
round pick,
and then we didn't sign him. I can't help but to think what this means for the future of the team. It can be a rental. Like I said, if we one piece away, if this was 2019-ish, and you make a move like that, I'm like, oh yeah, we all in, because now you looking like the Rams last year, right? But we not there. So that concerns me. But I would like to see some type of offensive move tomorrow. I don't know what's there, what's available, what the chances of that. They feel very, very slim. But something more offense. Something more on offense to just I don't even know what it could be, but something more on offense. We need something. You know what? Now here's something for y'all real quick, right? There's a couple tight ends out there now. I know we got one, right? We got 5, right? We got I don't know how many, but if there's no wide receiver out there, right, to make a move on, but you can get a solid tight end to come in here, right? Would y'all be okay with that?
No.
Unless it's Kyle Pitts. That's the only way.
What about somebody like
Here's the thing. Though, man. There are wide receivers.
What about who? Gesicki?
Yeah.
He doesn't block.
It's Skedaddle.
It's a good data. Nah,
Yeah,
with that TD celebration
into not celebrating his
Gritty?
touchdown.
No, Gritty?
Skedaddle. I'm calling no greedy.
But Mike, there are wide receivers available. We know there's wide receivers available. Don't lower the bar for EDC too. Y'all already put it on. Y'all already buried the bar for Patrick Queen. Don't lower it for Eric.
Right.
Eric gotta go. He gotta go do his job.
Like, listen, I just want them to show Lamar that they are at least making some kind of effort. Just give him a reason to stay. Because me personally, I'd be like, you doing everything for the side of the ball that can't help me. And I know people in the chat have been like, listen, we done got a dude that's going to get us the ball back. We still need to score when we get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We can get the ball back 100 times. But if we don't score, what difference is it really going to make? And once again, this is for the playoffs. It's not for the regular season. It's not for, and I think people forget this a lot, this 4th place schedule. We have a 4th place schedule. Don't get too hype about it. We got a last place schedule for a reason. None of these moves, well, this move might help in the playoffs, but it might be another Buffalo incident. We give up 10 points and we score 3.
Right. But hey, I'm gonna address House, but I'm gonna be calmer this time. No, because I shouldn't have went off like that. But I ain't gonna apologize to absolutely nobody. We have to be realistic about it. We're about to play a bunch of teams with 2 and 3 wins, and we're probably not going to dominate them like we should. So when we jump up in round 1 and have to play, not a Buffalo, because they're probably
Miami,
like a Miami again, maybe KC. Maybe we may even have like we got to play Cincinnati again or something. We need to be a lot better. And do we have time to get better? Yes. But you said we could be 8-0. You are what your record says you are. And we have 5 wins. We just could easily be 2-6. Or probably worse. So we have to be on this kind of incline going toward the playoffs. And if we were playing 500 and better teams and they were battles and whatnot, I can understand the scene. You could say you battle testing and whatnot. But if the way it's going, if these teams keep losing like they lose, and we playing week 16, we playing a team with 3 wins, how much better are we if we don't blow them out? Now the young guys may get better because you get better with reps when you're young. But as a team, we just got to play better. The teams with losing records, we need to stomp them, and we not doing that. Because Tampa Bay played horrible, and we barely won. And that's do y'all think they play horrible?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they play horrible, and we barely won. And just look at the game plan. The game plan was to throw it on them because they were hurt. When I looked at their injury report, myself, I thought we should throw it on them. I did.
Yeah.
But it didn't work because the concepts, the quality of receiver we got out there. And you'll see tomorrow when I drop the video, because I was doing a video on Lamar and his throws from the first half versus the second half when the Roquan stuff dropped. So I stopped that video to do the Roquan video. I did. But tomorrow I'll finish the Lamar video, and you'll see that it's a combination of guys not being open, horrible schemes, and a few occasions where Lamar just missed people. Like, I can give you one instance. We threw a fade to Bateman before he got hurt. And I talked about this last week. Our receivers don't win off the line, then stack the DB. They take off running straight to the sideline. And like the pass, it was the pass Duvernay caught. Had Lamar not thrown a perfect ball, Duvernay left him no room for error. Bateman did the same thing. They don't win at the line, then get back on their path. They just run away from the defender, and now Lamar got to make a perfect throw to the sideline. That's them low percentage throws. So I mean, it's a combination of things. Like we ain't very good at the wide receiver position. We ain't got dogs there, and for them to try to get open like that, that's hurting Lamar because now he got to put pressure on him to throw perfect throws when you throw fades. You already don't have a jump ball guy like the ball Tom Brady threw to Mike Evans. He just threw it in the air.
Yeah.
That's all he did. He just threw it in the air and gave Mike a chance to see it, adjust to it, and kind of box Marlowe out. That's all he did. Tom Brady did that took no skill. Everybody, if we had the arm, all of us could throw that ball in the air like that. Mike Evans did that work. Tom Brady ain't do nothing, but just trust the dude. So it is what it is, man. Y'all, any of y'all got closing thoughts?
I want to say this to House too. You saying that we could be? You're saying you don't see why we don't understand that we're a Super Bowl team. We should be 8-0, all of that, right? And as Coach said, right, we could be 8-0. We could very well as be 0-8, 2-6, however you want to look at it. But I do want to say this to you. There's a difference between regular season and then, as I like to call, money time. I don't care who you are, money time, how many wins you got during the regular season. When money time, the game changes. Look at the Bills. The Bills, they beat Kansas City last year. Then what happened when they got to the playoffs? Right? That's why this year, right, they wanted to beat Kansas City, but it wasn't no revenge game or nothing because they know what happened. That's a Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what happened, knowing what we got to do going forward. We can't get comfortable with that win because they beat us in money time. So it's just two different types of games when you get to the playoffs. And you can be 8-0 right now. But that 8-0 is not translating to 4-0 or 3-0 in the playoffs that we would need it to be.
Remember,
so that's all.
Years ago, we was 14-2.
Yeah, that's
top
that's
5
all we
defense
saying.
and offense.
Yeah, that's all we saying. House. That's all we saying, House. That's it. It's not that we don't believe in the team. It's not that we don't think they can win. Because I just said last week, the one thing about us is we have been in every game.
I'm gonna put
sorry.
this.
No. What is it? Oh no, it's sushi.
Because he can't talk, so I would just want to put his comment up there to kind of rebut what we're saying. I'm just saying it ain't as bad as we making it seem. We're a good team on the verge of being great if we play a little better.
I respect it.
I respect that comment.
I'm not mad at that at all. But my thing, House, is how many years are we going to be a good team on the verge of? And that's where we're coming from. It's not that we think that this team is sorry or we're bad or we got so many deficiencies. It's how many years are we going to go through the same thing of being a decent team and then make it to the playoffs and shit the bed?
Yeah, because you're more like an average team on the verge of being good than a good team on the verge of being great.
Because average teams make the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily win a bunch of games, but average teams can make the playoffs.
And good teams don't give away double-digit leads in every single game. And to Mike's point as well, how many of you are picking Philly to win the Super Bowl? Philly is 7-0, right? Philly 7-0. They're stacking up on the defense and the offensive side of the ball. How many of you are picking them to win the Super Bowl right now over the Bills or over the Chiefs? I would venture to say not a lot, right? Because you know what Kansas City's about in the playoffs. You know what these other teams are about when it gets to playoff time, and you don't believe in Philly.
Right.
So, Coach, are you saying wide receivers aren't good? I'm saying they're average at best. That's what I'm saying. But what I was laughing at was this. So before we get out of here, today is the last day of the month, and hope you don't think I forgot. We have winners for my loyalty points, and so y'all won't think I'm BS, and I'm gonna pull that up for you, and I'll show you the 2 winners. Let me get it right before I click that button. All right. I don't know if I can blow it up. Let me see. Yeah, I think I can blow it. Can I move it? Okay. So the first two guys, they get the prize. So Will G, you're my winner for October. Free Wi-Fi, you're the second place guy. So both of y'all get a prize. The thing is, free Wi-Fi, the prize I showed at the beginning of the month, that's what you're getting. The little table game thing, and I'll show it again. But the first place prize I didn't show. So let me grab it real quick.
Shout out to y'all, man. Showing that
David,
love to Coach. Shout out.
Day.
Yeah. I see Yolanda creeping up. Yolanda gonna be the winner, and Marco G. I see y'all.
All right. Will G, here's what you got. Got to throw. Baltimore Ravens throw / blanket.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what I need you guys to do is to go to Twitter and DM me and give me like a place to send the merch, and we'll go from there. And again, for everybody out there, the month of November, we're doing the same. November starts tomorrow. The way you get loyalty points is you interact in the chat box, you do the super chats and all that stuff, and you just be in the streams. Look at Will's hours. 20 hours. Look at Brandon, 20 hours. That mean they probably didn't miss a stream.
Yeah, that's
then
dope.
drop some super chat or two every now and then. That's where it is. But Miss Yolanda's up there, Brandon's up there, Super Brothers up there.
Coach, free Wi-Fi don't have Twitter, so is there somewhere else he can hit you?
Wait, you got anything other than? Matter of fact, you can email me free Wi-Fi. Let me put my email in there. It's sipthetally@gmail.com. If you got that, just email me sipthetally@gmail.com. And I know Will got what he needs. I don't know if he in here or not, but I'll get in touch with Will and see. But free Wi-Fi is still here. Send me that email with your information. I'll get it out to you. Then we'll go forward. And then Will is the big winner of the Cloud Shrepper throw. It's 60 inches by 70 inches, and I'm getting hot holding it. So wintertime,
More.
You're gonna need that.
Even warm.
Right? Definitely. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. Let's do our outro, and so everybody can tell you where to see them. Let me get this off the screen. All right. Since now this is what I really was waiting for. We normally have this grand outro with Jose, but Jose ain't here to do it. So
B got it.
Oh, B.
Where the people can find it, B?
Wait, B, make sure you start like this. You see what B has on?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm one half of the Lunch Break Hot Take, as you all know, Jose. My brother's the other half. You can find us at LBHT Show on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. We do a live show every Wednesday at 7:15 Eastern Time, followed by the OT for our patrons. Also, I'm 1/3 of the Ring Kings podcast with my brother Jose and OTR Mike. We put out a podcast every Monday at, I believe it's 12 noon. We put that out on YouTube and wherever you find your audio podcasts. Excuse me. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
No, you're missing one.
No, I'm missing anything.
Old man gamers?
No, I'm not talking about no damn old man gamers. God damn it.
Chris, on you, Chris.
You could catch me on Twitter at Chris Just Joking and Deep Cover Podcast on Twitter, also Deep Cover Podcast on YouTube. I will be dropping a 2023 draft video covering the offensive guards so far. So that should be coming within the next couple of weeks.
Gotcha. Hendo?
Yes, you can catch me on Ravens Online on Gatekeepers every Sunday night at 7 p.m. doing a recap of the game. Every Thursday around 6 p.m. I do a pregame video. Also, you can find me on Twitter at @rgatekeepers. I don't know about Instagram. I think they suspended me today for some odd reason. I have no idea what that's about.
They had a glitch, man.
Mike Graham was tripping today.
Really?
Yeah, it was a glitch that because my joint got suspended too, but I think it's all coming back, something like that.
Yeah. Mine wouldn't stay on for like 10, 15 seconds and it'll close me out.
Yeah. So, and also listen, most importantly, if you want to, come on over to Old Man Gamers. We all just got the new Call of Duty.
Mhm.
We can hit it up. We can play. Hey, we can stream it. We learned.
for real?
Listen, we learned how to stream the other day. Me and Brownie learned how to stream it
No, you
On-
learned how to stream.
So what
Okay.
on the system? It's
on
easy.
the PS5.
It's easy.
We've never really did it before.
Oh yeah.
But since we got Old Man
And
Gamers,
we ain't never going to do it. I don't play the games online. I don't stream games online, Hendo. This is just you.
Hendo,
This is you.
Hendo, this is what you do.
Yeah.
We just get together and play.
right?
Then we'll stream, and he
There you
just
go.
don't have to know he on there.
Facts.
So
No,
people
no,
still
no,
hear
no.
him.
So listen, y'all out there in the
No,
chat,
no, no.
y'all out there in the chat, if you got the new Call of Duty, let's do this. Old Man Gamer sign up. We can make a party
No,
out of
man,
this.
I just heard your plan. It's not going to work.
We
Just because you
Hey,
heard
Coach.
out and you can't stop it.
Coach,
Wait till, wait till they mob over the Old Man Gamers and subscribe like they did my show last week.
Hey,
Then
Coach,
you
Don't
gonna
do
have
that.
to. Then you gonna
Don't
have
do
to
that.
do it.
listen, we just
No.
talked to Jose. We just talked to
Wow.
Jose. Don't worry about
You
it.
got now you got Suge in the chat too. Wow.
Yeah, mob over there. Old Man Gamers.
Old Man Gamers, listen,
Don't do
growing.
that.
go subscribe.
Don't do that.
Subscribe.
We get him to 100. They can't
Yo.
help. They can't help but do
Y'all,
it,
y'all
y'all.
gonna be real disappointed.
But they got listen, aside from the games, they have really good information on that channel. It's not just about playing games. Like, go over there and check it out.
Hendo, promote your stuff.
I'd rather promote other people's stuff. Why?
On you, Mike.
Look, so first of all, I gotta say this. One, definitely go over to Old Man Gamers and subscribe. Right. Two, if you aren't following Chris on Twitter, you are mistaken. That dude is funny. I'm telling you, he be having me cracking
Bruh.
up. He be having me crack it up. So if you want to laugh and then you want some good information on the Ravens and all of that, all of the stuff he talks about, you definitely need to follow him. Coach, listen, Coach give y'all the content multiple times a day. I be at work, I see a video from Coach. I'm like,
Right.
all right, let me tap in and see what's going on here.
As soon
So,
as them
of course-
kids leave for lunch.
That's right.
I'm on.
Get it in. Get it in. You know, so you are in the right place for that. And then, Hendo is over there doing his thing. And Hendo and Rodney, as well as Jose, who's not here today, are on my latest episode
Facts.
of Open Mic with
Mhm.
OTR Mike. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead over there, subscribe. I got 4 episodes out for you right now. It's a little different than this. It's not really sports talk, but it's you're getting a little different side of these guys. And like I said before, I plan to get all of these guys on here, and my plan is to give you a different side of all of them, just from outside of sports. So to get to know them or touch on other subjects that you might not be used to hearing them touch on. So go over there, do that. All of the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things I just named, do that. Lunch Break Hot Take, do that. And then Ring Kings Podcast. I'm a part of that. I'm 1/3 of that. If there's anything about boxing that you're looking for, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
B, as you heard him yell at me earlier today, he keeps me in line over there. The structure over there is amazing. So if you want that, go over to Let's Break Hot Take, but go over to Ring Kings Podcast as well to get your
I'll just
boxing
be
fix.
painting these false narratives. And it's like, you can't even do anything about it.
Everybody
But no,
knows.
100%. Nah, real talk, man. I appreciate all of y'all. I mean, y'all tap in with us every week, man, and that's love. And I seen since I was getting tweeted today as soon as the trade happened, like, man, the show gonna be lit. So y'all are really looking forward to this.
Mhm.
So we appreciate it, man, and that's why we here every week. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the supporters who just won the gifts, man. Keep that up. Keep supporting Coach. He's a good guy, and he's putting out that hard work. This ain't easy stuff, man. So shout out to y'all.
And I was watching your episode today with the guys on there before I was rudely interrupted about another teacher want to talk about some work.
The nerve.
So I got to go back and finish that one. But I appreciate everybody for coming on, spending time. I appreciate everybody that that just comes and mess with us on Monday. Like to see people actively, waiting on the roundtable. That I don't know. It makes me feel a type of way. And that's, I'm happy to do it, excited to do it, which is one of the reasons why I'm gonna push to make sure I'm back next week so we won't miss a week. because I don't know what's gonna happen in 2 weeks because that's my wife's birthday.
Indeed. I just want to give a shout out to Brandon Buckingham in the chat. He really thought he was gonna beat me this week. He was sitting there so happy, texting me during the show, talking about, "Am I really gonna win?" Nah, son. And a missed extra point is not why you won. And I just want to shout out my man Ferris because next week it is the battle of the undefeateds in the LBHT
Brawl for it all.
fantasy football. The last two undefeateds, 8-0 versus 8-0. Let's go first.
Now, what somebody on this panel failed to mention is that if you join a Patreon, you get access to request videos that are a minimum of 10 minutes long.
Oh no, you talking about me? I just about
he thought
about you.
You don't want to cheer him on anymore.
Wait a minute, Coach. You supposed to be talking about LBH.
You know what else you can request?
I saw that from you today.
You can request live streams, not just videos. You can make Kendo go live.
No.
I said the president. I saw it too.
That was just a special request
for a patron.
For a patron.
Right. So I mean, all your patrons can be special, and it makes special.
Right. Listen, and I got something real special for my patrons coming up. If the rest of them cooperate, I got something else coming in the works. Something in mind that'll kind of shine a spotlight on them.
Gotcha. So again, I did not think we was gonna get to 2 hours, but
I did.
The conversation goes that way. Again, to free Wi-Fi and to Will G, the winners of Sip the Tally's first giveaway, so to speak. But technically it's the second. But the first time I gave it away, dude never responded. And so it never got gave away. But this is the we got actual winners this time. I appreciate everybody for coming out. Make sure you go subscribe to all these people. Good content coming out. Again, we play Monday night. So this podcast won't be here until Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you missed it or if you caught the back end and you want to see the rest, or you got to go to work tomorrow and you ain't got time, the audio podcast will be available by the time you wake up in the morning. So I'll take care of that after the show, and it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's on SoundCloud, and it's on all that stuff. So you'll find it. But I'll tweet it out in the morning.
Hey Mike, don't you have audio as well?
Yeah, I'm everywhere, baby.
Okay.
I'm everywhere.
You mentioned
YouTube.
You didn't mention it.
YouTube. I'm sorry. And I am on your favorite podcast streaming platform. So search me up, man. My numbers is slacking. I'm usually all right on that side. So if you're at work, man, or you going for a run or you going for a walk,
just listen.
Go ahead and listen to open mic, man.
Yep. Tap in. Suge says, Hendo, are you going live Monday after the game?
Yes, I'm going live after the game.
B, are you?
Hey, listen, hold
after the game. No,
hey,
okay.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
Chris might be there with me.
Hey, that is.
I might mess with it. I might mess with it. Depending how late it is, I might be with it.
It's gonna be approximately 11:14.
But see, I love them late streams though, because you ain't gotta stay long. You just hit them in, you get out.
Those be the ones that popping. Don't let them win.
I'll be there to make sure you stay in long.
I'll tell you what, I potentially will be in the chat box walking from the dome. So we'll put it like that. Yeah. If we win, I'm probably going. No, you know what? I might go live.
What? You might as well just come on too.
Can I do it from my phone? I don't know if I can do it from my phone.
Yeah, you can do it from your phone.
Stream y'all work on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you might. Oh, well, I don't want those Saints fans to jump me while I'm celebrating. In the second line out the thing if we win.
Nah. But I do want to shout out everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all coming through, regardless of how you feel,
right?
What your opinion is. You know, if we differ, if you feel a certain way, it's just good to interact with people and get different opinions and stop taking it so viscerally. Stop getting so upset in the chat because somebody disagree with you.
Right.
Good. God.
But now I will shout out buddy. What was his name again? House. Because that could have went extremely left. Right. But he came back and we kind of went respectfully. Yeah. So
yes, even you should.
But again, we out, and I appreciate you guys for coming through. And again, like, comment, subscribe, do all that to everybody.
Raven C.
Where Raven C at? See you out there.
Yeah, bring
And
us
we
out
out.
there.
Oh, I do have one more thing. If y'all got time for one more question, you got
Yes,
time
sir.
for one more question.
Mhm.
Of course.
What this ain't got nothing Ravens related.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'm sure y'all saw what happened between Michigan and Michigan State, right?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Mhm.
How do you feel about how that went down? What are your thoughts about how that went down?
Mm.
Where were the Michigan players at? Where were the other players at?
Okay,
So-
well, let me give mine then. My thing is there's one tunnel.
Yeah.
First of all, Michigan makes so much money. That should not be the way they come in and go out. The doors are right across from each other, Chris. So apparently what I think happens is on the field is they hold one team back, let the other team go into the locker room, and then shortly thereafter, the home team will come through because the tunnel was full of Michigan State players, and there were 2 Michigan players yapping. So you see later, like after they get beat up, then the whole Michigan team starts coming. They don't even know nothing happened. So I don't think them 2 guys should have even been there.
Coach,
But, you know,
Coach, they weren't supposed to be there. What happened was the Michigan team was still out on the field celebrating,
mhm.
and those 2 dudes decided they wanted to go in early, and that's why they were in there with the team. But they don't. But one thing is they don't have police to hold them back. The teams normally just go in at the same time. So I don't know why you didn't wait for your teammates, especially if you're gonna run your mouth about winning.
Right.
And then that's what popped off.
Mhm.
And Travis, I'm sorry, Travis. No, I don't think we have high school talent. It was a joke.
Anybody else on that Michigan thing?
But they should press charges. Like it should be some jail time for that or some charges pressed. It's 10-on-1.
Yeah.
It looked like
It
30.
looked like I saw some helmets being
Yeah.
swung. So
Did they name it? Did they
got
name
4.
the player?
They
Yeah,
got-
but who was the Michigan player that got beat up?
I thought they named 2 Michigan players. I thought
Were they
they
started?
did name them.
They named. I know they
the
named
name
one.
though.
I know they named one of the dudes, but they only suspended 4 dudes so far. I mean, I clearly saw at least 8 dudes I can name that was swinging.
Right.
Yeah. I'm with you, Coach. I had the same discussion with my homeboy earlier. Right. I'm like, well, you got one tunnel. And I'm a Michigan. I like Michigan, right? You got one tunnel, right? And he was like, well, man, that stadium was built back in the, whatever days. And I'm like, yeah, but it ain't stopped them from adding more seats to that motherfucker.
Exactly.
So if you can add more seats to it, add another tunnel somewhere.
Yep.
But I mean,
knock a wall down. I'm
Yeah.
sure just knock a wall down and put some support. And just
It's
let them
cute.
go out that
It's
door.
cute when they show when ESPN is walking through there and the 2 teams is in the middle and they barking at each other. But now that somebody got their hands put on them,
It's a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem. So they got to figure that out. That has to be figured out. But it's Bush League. Yo, you lost. And even if I'm talking smack, unless I say something about your mama or something, yeah, you lost. And that's it. So.
But another problem is they just had the same issue with Penn State. Yes, they just had that issue with Penn State. And Harbaugh and James Franklin just got into it.
Right.
That's a good question. Were they wearing OTR sweaters?
Probably. But were they the real OTR?
Oh,
the only OTR, baby.
The only OT, right?
We had
Chris, you got something on it?
No, I mean, you don't excuse what the Michigan State players did, but like you both said, it's absolutely ridiculous to have both teams going into the same tunnel with the locker rooms right across from each other. You expect them to be more mature than that, right? And not jump somebody right after the game, but you know that you're dealing with 18 to 21-year-old kids, and if you keep putting them in that situation over and over, eventually something's going to happen.
Yep.
Right. But no, I really had they should have been going after more than 4 of those Michigan State players. It was there were more than 8 fists I saw swinging at that dude. So
and
they need to go back and review the tape and find a few more of them. But ultimately, that's on the school as well. For only having the one tunnel, not having any or sufficient at least security.
That was a lot of what was the initials on the back of the jackets? That's supposed to be security, smart or something. They got the whatever the stadium security is. They just were standing around watching.
A lot of them was running. I seen a lot of people retreating.
Well, I mean that is smart. Right? You don't want to get in the middle of that.
I need to know the Michigan player's name too. That'll let me know how
It's
severe
out
the
there.
punishment should be.
I don't know him or
Oh, wait.
Right?
Wait. What do you mean by that?
Listen, if
I
it's one of
agree.
my
He means
5
some of them
stars,
deserve.
if it's one of my 5 stars, look, y'all ain't playing. Y'all can't play for the rest of the season.
He said,
Yeah,
if
I don't
it's
want
Blake
y'all
Corum,
playing.
you
I
got
want
10
the Michigan
years.
State dudes good. But hey, yeah, if it's Blake Corum, yeah, look, and Blake a Maryland guy, but if it's one of the red shirt freshmen,
Wow.
listen,
One of the ones who don't matter as much.
that was just to talk to him, saying, "Listen, you don't ever go in there by yourself like that, fool."
And you give
You know
him
what I'm
you give him some boxing lessons and set him on his way.
You said it's a teachable moment. If it was a
Teachable
redshirt
moment. Teachable moment. But if you beat up one of my stars, that's a problem, man. That's a big problem.
But again, Chris,
you know that wasn't on Blake. Blake got a high football IQ.
You got to take on it, Chris.
Yeah, wait for your rest of your teammates before you go in there alone.
Right.
I mean,
That's simple.
I mean, obviously it's not something that you ever want to happen, and we don't know what was said or what happened between those players, but hey, if you see a bunch of white jerseys and you got on the maize and blue, you be like, I just wait for my maize and blue to come before I walk through this sea of white jerseys. And
I'm definitely ain't gonna say nothing crazy.
Right.
yeah, and they steaming, you hype, so it's like just avoid the problems before they even arise, and just celebrate with your teammates.
Because when I watched it, my wife was in here with me. She said she could still hear Michigan playing the their
The fight
alma
zone.
mater, the fight zone. Yeah, so they probably should have still been out there with
Took
their
it a
team.
little too literally.
The fight zone, right? All right, so we've been here long enough, man. Peace, y'all. Peace, good people.